This production is copyrighted by Solo Productions for the private use of our audience. Any other use of this video, photographs, or audio without our express written consent is prohibited.
That need special ed, they damn self. Are you following me, Queen? Let me get this right. This is one of the lowest performing schools in the whole state of Texas. And you got the audacity to tell me that in a special school where hardly nobody graduates on time, my child needs special help in a school that's already special. And then let me go a little further than that. We know that the inner city black schools get the most poorly trained teachers, the youngest teachers, okay, the most inexperienced teachers. So not only are you sending a child to special ed who don't need it, you're doing it off of the recommendation of somebody who shouldn't even be teaching. So let me give you my second rule, black parents in Dallas today. Don't you ever let a teacher who's not even certified to be one. Don't you ever let a teacher who don't even have a degree to be one. Don't you ever let an emergency substitute coming from another profession and they're only in front of your child's classroom because they need to pay a mortgage in the suburbs, don't you ever let them tell you your child needs special education in order to learn. You don't have a degree in education. You don't have a license in education. You don't have a certain education. So how the hell are you so sure my child needs something special? But it happens in the ghetto every day because we don't know our rights. And the reason I'm here today is to make sure you leave with some understanding of what educational law is. And one of the big problems we have in black America is we have a lot of criminal attorneys, and we got a lot of family attorneys, and we got a lot of civil rights attorneys, but we don't have not one major black educational attorney. So if any of you are in law school right now, please take up educational law, because we don't have no black attorneys fighting for our children against the school system. You know how many black kids get expelled from school in Texas every year? For offenses that should have only been punishable by a one-day suspension. Your child got kicked out of school for the rest of their life for something that should have only got them a one-day suspension. So how did they get expelled for something that should have got them a one-day suspension? Because the parents don't know the law. And although I can't fault you for not knowing the law, I can definitely fault you for being too lazy to pick up the Dallas Public School Code of Conduct so you know what is expellable versus what is suspendable. Your children don't read, and neither do you very often. I'm wrong, prove it. Show me the black psychologist who will challenge me. Show me the white psychologist who will challenge me. The reason why you have a hard time believing me is, number one, I look like you, and you've been taught we don't know anything. And number two,
Come on now.
and number two, the reason why you don't have more black psychologists telling you the truth is because mental health is a billion-dollar industry. Oh, let me be very clear with you. If Dr. Umar would shut up and just evaluate, you know what they pay in psychologists for ADHD evals? You can get up to $25,000 for those 4 letters, ADHD. Now, they told you that it stands for attention deficit hyperactivity disorder. You know what ADHD really is? Ain't no daddy at home disorder. 80% of black boys on Ritalin, 80% of black boys on Concerta, 80% of black boys on Medicaid, 80% of black boys on Cycler don't have a father figure in their life. This ain't about mental health. This is about a war against black masculinity.
Come on now.
Sends the fathers to jail and send their sons to the doctor. And when they get to the doctor, he's going to give them a prescription for the same crap that sent his father to jail. Ritalin is synthesized cocaine. Concerta is synthesized cocaine. Do your research if you don't believe me. The Drug Enforcement Agency of America has Ritalin classified as a Schedule B drug. Ritalin is in the same category as opium and heroin. If you give your son 5 milligrams a day so he can sit still long enough to learn about Christopher Columbus.
Come on.
And then the Negroes call me up and say, Dr. Umar, I heard you building the school in Wilmington, Delaware. But I want to know why you're trying to do this independent black school, because with your credentials, you can get a charter school. So why is Dr. Umar building an independent black school when he can easily get a charter school? I'll tell you why. Charter schools were not started to help us. Stay with me. We have a lot of charter schools who do a good job, and I support them. I'm not talking about individual schools. I know a lot of good black charter schools. Y'all have some here. But the system of charter education was created to allow white children in the suburbs to get an education off the public dollar. And because you cannot finance private schools with public money, the charter law was a compromise between white parents and state government. So when a black charter school opens up, they have to be extra careful not to violate the laws or the policies, because they'll be the first one shut down. And I know this because I live in Philadelphia. We have more charter schools than any other city in the United States. And we also are the #1 city for gentrification. That's a fancy word for residential ethnic cleansing. And I'm going to tell you right now, whenever you start seeing charter schools popping up all over Dallas, you know gentrification is popping up all over Dallas because the charter school is the face of ethnic cleansing. Let me explain how it works. We want to take over a certain section of Dallas, heavily concentrated, 80% African American. You just can't go in there and tell them to get out. That's politically incorrect. This is what we're going to do. We're going to find some Negro to be the spokesperson for this new charter school. He's never going to tell them that this is not a black initiative. He's just the face, but he ain't going to tell them that this is not being ran by black folks. So when the charter school opens, they're going to hire 90% people who don't look like you. And those 90% people who don't look like you will move into your neighborhood and buy up all the abandoned homes, and all the abandoned lots, and all the abandoned storefronts. And you're not going to say nothing about it, because after all, what's wrong with my child's principal living down the street? I wish my math teacher lived across the street, but what you fail to realize is that same person teaching your child math is raising up their property values. And then after 10 years, the Malcolm X charter school becomes the Adolf Hitler charter school. You can't afford to go there no more. You had to move out the city. You had to move out the neighborhood. Property tax too high. It starts off black, it ends up white. And guess what? If there's a new charter school educating 500 kids, that means there's a public school that lost 500 kids. So what happens to that public school that lost 500 kids? They're going to redirect the remaining kids to the other public school, shut that one down, and sell it to the developers so they can turn it into apartments for college students. Or maybe a Walmart, or a Starbucks, or a new movie complex. I saw a Negro the other day, he thought they built the Walmart for the ghetto. Negro, when you see a Walmart or a Starbucks, that means the community is gone. Oh my God, they built us a new theater. Build who a new theater? This ain't for you. But the problem with black folks is we love to sell real estate instead of holding on to it. You live in your mama house that she bought 20 years ago. They come knocking on your door offering you $500,000 for a house your mom only paid 50 grand for. So you so thirsty for money because you fail to realize money and power are two different things. You so thirsty for money, you sell mama a house for $500,000, and then the next question for you is, where you gonna live now? So guess what you gotta do with that $500,000? You got to go buy a new house, so you got a whole new mortgage with your silly self. when you had a whole house that you earned. And if you would have held onto the house, you could have passed that down from generation to generation to generation and let the property value go up, up, up. But because Negroes are in love with dollars and not power, you keep selling houses instead of holding on to them. I know a couple people right now sold the house, and then with the money they got, had to use it to buy a new house. And the banks love to play with black folks' desire to own something, don't they? Come on in and get you a 40-year anti-slavery mortgage. You know how y'all go down to the bank? How long is this mortgage? 50-year Harriet Tubman home loan. Your damn grandkids be dead before that house paid off. But if you would have just held in the house grandma gave you, you wouldn't have had no problems. But let's get back to this miseducation machine. In my experience, there's 6 steps that America uses to destroy black males. And they destroy them in public school. They don't wait for you to get 15 and 20. First of all, let me give you a first rule about racism. First rule about racism in black males is black males are not allowed to be boys. I'm going to say it one more time. In the United States of America, there's no such thing as childhood or boyhood or adolescence for a black male. Dr. Umar, can you explain what you mean? Let me explain to you. If a 3-year-old child goes into his preschool, black boy, and the teacher makes him angry, and he says, I'm going to shoot you, guess what's going to happen to him at 3? He's going to get arrested at 3. And he's going to be expelled at 3 because America has a discipline code known as zero tolerance. You may have heard of it. It was birthed from the Columbine massacre. And although our hearts go out to those families who lost those children in Columbine, I have trouble trying to come to terms with the fact that a white massacre in a white neighborhood by white students has transformed school discipline, expulsion, and suspension for black boys. And so a 3-year-old black boy who tells his teacher, I will shoot you, he doesn't have the means to shoot. He ain't got no money to buy no gun. He ain't got no license to get a gun. He ain't strong enough to even pull the trigger. But because he's black, the fact he said, I'll shoot you, will get him expelled. And if you debate that, I want you to go look at the U.S. Department of Education statistics on suspension and expulsion. It came out 2 years ago. And guess what they found? Black boys in preschool are being expelled more than white boys in high school for the same offense. So let me go back to my premise. A black boy in America is not allowed to be a boy. You will be judged and treated like a man whether you are 3 months, 3 years old, 13, 33, or 53. So what are the implications of this for black parents? It means you have to do a better job of fulfilling your number 1 task of raising a black male child. Girls too, but especially the boys. And what is the number 1 job of a black parent in Texas? To teach your children discipline. That's your number 1 job. And what is Dr. Umar's definition of discipline? It's the ability to do what you need to do when it gotta be done, whether you like it or not. Does your daughter have that? Does your son have that? Do they have the ability to turn off the television and get their homework done without you saying a word? Do they have the ability to put the football down, come in the house, and study for tomorrow's quiz without you saying a word? Then if your black boy ain't got no discipline, if you raise him with the belief that he can do whatever he want, to whomsoever he want, whenever he want, there's a prison cell waiting for him. And to my black mothers, I love you all to death. I say thank you from the bottom of my heart for raising all these black children on your own while America locks up the fathers. I say thank you, black mother, but some of you got to do a better job. Because some of you are too busy loving your sons instead of raising them. Your son is not your boyfriend, and he's not your husband, and he's not your emotional confidant. If you need a therapist, call me. I'll find one for you. But stop looking for emotional support from a 12-year-old. It's It's not that he listens to his father because his father is a man. He listens to his father because men are socialized to be consistent. The reason he don't listen to his mama is because you mothers ain't consistent with discipline. Oh, hell no, you're not. You was a lie if you say you do. I've been doing behavior modification for over almost 30 years now, and I know mothers are not consistent. Not the white ones, not the Arabs, the East Indians, the Mexicans, the Latinos, or the blacks either. Mothers are not consistent because as a woman, you are socialized to be the emotional consoler. You provide the love and the hugs. It's the man who's supposed to provide the boundaries and the consequences. But when the man is not there, now the mother has to play both sides, and it's not fair to you, ladies. You shouldn't have to do both. But that is the world America gave us. And since that is your responsibility, I need you to do a better job of making your son responsible, because too many black women are out here complaining about there not being enough good black men, but yet you're not raising none at home. If I'm wrong, prove it. You can't prove me wrong. I'm the top black intellectual in this country. I'm the #1 Pan Africanist in the world. I'm also 6'3" and fine. That's the Leo in me. Leo season, July 24th. Get ready for the Leos. So what are these 6 steps that racism gave black America to destroy black boys? Step number 1, miseducation. Step number 2, special education. Step number 3, psychiatric medication. Step number 4, juvenile incarceration. Step number 5, psychological alienation and frustration. Step 6, premature extermination. Let's start with step 1, miseducation. Some of y'all think the schools don't work because the teachers are not being paid enough. Some of y'all think the schools don't work because the buildings are too old. Some of y'all think the schools don't work because the curriculum is outdated. Some of y'all think the schools don't work because the mother on welfare. Some of y'all think the schools don't work because his dad locked up. The schools don't work because he listens to too much Lil Wayne. The schools don't work because his parents are sagging. Sorry, folks, the schools don't work because they were designed not to. And the reason the schools are designed not to work in Texas is because in order to safeguard the white privilege of the white boy, you have to disadvantage the black male child. Let me say that again. Schools in Texas must fail black boys in order for white boys to have their privilege protected. Are y'all following me? You think Texas is going to let the black boy get the same quality of education as the white boy, and now he can challenge him for political economic dominance of the resources of your state?
Come on now.
This ain't no accident. One of the reasons we can solve black America's problems is because we conceptualize them totally incorrectly. Oh, the schools need more money. You can pay every teacher in Texas $100,000 a year, and your child's grade still won't go up. Because the #1 ingredient you need to be an effective teacher is not a degree or a license, but a love for the children sitting in front of you. And I can tell you, working in the schools, the one thing missing from the classrooms where our children are is a sincere commitment to their growth by the people standing at the front. And public education is the only industry in America where you cannot be fired for not being able to do your job. If a doctor can't do his job, doctor get fired. If an engineer can't do his job, engineer get fired. If a social worker can't do their job, social worker get fired. If I'm a principal of a school in Dallas, Texas, and that teacher can't teach, I can't fire her just because she can't do her job. I gotta put her on a professional development plan. Privileged white female. And guess what? If I complain about her enough, they'll transfer her from your child's school to your child's school. So now she can miseducate your kids. But we cannot fire her. Because the teachers' unions of America control the educational process, and they have created a teacher tenure law policy that basically says, if you've been teaching in the classroom in America's public or charter schools for at least 5 years, you cannot be fired for not being able to teach. You can get fired for messing with the kids. You can get fired for doing something crazy, but not being able to teach, oh no, that's not a good enough reason. And you wonder why the black kids ain't learning, because don't nobody get fired for not teaching them. So that's miseducation. And now let's talk about special ed. Where did special ed come from? United States Congress, Public Law 94-142 of 1975. The original special ed law was called the Education for All Handicapped Children Act. There's 13 disabilities under the umbrella of special ed. What are they? Speech and language impairment, hearing impairment, deafness, blindness, autism, emotional disturbance, intellectual disability, orthopedic impairment, other health impairment, multiple disabilities. And then there's one more. The 113th disability that accounts for most black kids being in special ed. See, most black kids are not in special ed for speech problems. They're not in special ed for deafness or blindness. They're not in special ed for autism or orthopedics. They're not in special ed for health impairments. They're in special ed for the so-called learning disability. Reading, math, listening, writing. The learning disability. That is the #1 most diagnosed special ed disability. I call it the laziness disability. Now, if you believe your child got a reading disability, let me ask you a real simple question. Where is the reading disability located in his brain? Is it in the front? Is it in the back? Is it in the hippocampus? Amygdala? Where is it? Is it in the third eye? Can somebody show me where the reading disability is? Because I've been looking for it for 30 years. Where is the reading? Put that. Where's ADHD? Can you show me where that's at? Where ADHD at? Top of the brain, side of the brain, back here in the nappy kitchen. Where ADHD? What is the point you're making, Dr. Umar? The point I'm making is the learning disability, the emotional disturbance, the conduct disorder, the ADHD are not organic, scientific disabilities. They are philosophical ideas. Are y'all listening to me? When somebody tells you your child has a reading disability, they're not giving you a scientific fact, they're giving you a professional opinion. Go to one psychologist, it's a reading disability. Go to another psychologist, it's a math disability. Go to another psychologist, it's mild mental retardation. Go to another psychologist, it's ADHD. You come to Dr. Umar, and it is an ABT. And what is ABT? His ass ain't never been to hell taught. There's nothing worse than trying to ask me to test a kid who I know never been taught. He ain't got a reading disability, he got a reading delay because you're not teaching him how to read. What's one of the biggest things they did away with was reading instruction. And most kids go to special ed for reading instruction. They don't teach phonics no more. How the hell are you going to teach somebody how to read without phonics? Phonics means sound. Without letter-sound association, how are you going to learn how to read? In America, they got this thing called whole language. You know what whole language is? We're not going to teach a child how to sound out each letter. We're going to teach them how to memorize the word. See, when you went to school, you had reading words. Your child don't come home with reading words. Your child come home with sight words. Be able to identify them on sight. This is why some of you think that kids can read. Oh my God, my son is reading big words. No, he's not. He's memorizing big words. Until you give him something he's not familiar with, then you see whether he can really decode them. And the reason they don't teach phonics no more is because education isn't based on the needs of the child, it's based on the needs of the white teachers who run the schools. And they don't feel like putting no much effort in it no more. So they just go in there and teaching words. Most kids are in special ed for reading, and part of it is your fault because you ain't got no reading material in your house. And I need somebody to help me understand something. Why is there a video game unit in a house with a kid in special ed? I need some answers to that. See, when I opened up the Frederick Douglass and Marcus Garvey RBG International Leadership Academy for Pan African Excellence, I'm going to demand black excellence. And if you want to send me a lazy child, keep them home. God didn't put black kids on this earth to serve white folks. God put them on earth to serve God.
Come on.
So guess what I'm going to do in my school? I'm going to have a special assembly for all the slow kids. You want pills? Come have a seat. You got ADHD? Come have a seat. You got conduct disorder. You beat up people and can't stop it? Okay, come have a seat. You got oppositional defiant disorder. You curse people out without a reason. No problem. Have a seat. You got reading disabilities, math disabilities. I'm going to have a big auditorium session with all my slow kids, and I'm going to say, you all got parents who let white folks convince them that you can learn as well as other people. So at the Frederick Douglass Marcus Garvey Academy, because we are private, not public, we don't have special ed here. But we do give out extra help. And since you can't read, and you can't count, and you can't sit still, and you can't control your temper, you come to school on Saturday and Sunday from 8 in the morning till 8 at night until you can read, you can count, and you can sit the hell still. Now, let me ask you parents a question. Let me ask all you special ed parents one simple question. After coming to school on Saturday and Sunday from 8 in the morning till 8 at night for 2 weeks, how many kids do you think still gonna need an IEP at my school? See how quickly I solve special ed? There won't be no more problems because they don't want to be in school on the weekend. See, the difference between you and me is your child knows how to con you. Child can't con me. What are we teaching at my school? Agricultural and agronomical science. They will learn how to grow their own food. Dietary and nutritional science. They will know how to prepare it based on the nutritional content. Political and military science. They will learn how white people took over the planet and how black people lost it. They will also be taught martial arts and self-defense, both with and without weapons. There will be a Marcus Garvey Jr. Gun Club. I hope to God your son ain't never got to pull a weapon on another human being, regardless of their color. But if he has to, we're going to make sure he knows how to do it and do it right. Now I know your problem is you say Jesus never had a gun. Jesus don't live in Dallas. And he damn sure don't live in the 21st century United States of America. See, one of the problems with black America is we keep on trying to use religious interpretations to solve political problems. Your problems cannot be solved by no book written 2,000 years ago. I'm here to tell you. I didn't say you couldn't believe in it. Nothing wrong with the Bible for personal spiritual use. Nothing wrong with the Quran for personal spiritual use. Nothing wrong with the Torah in the Old Testament for personal spiritual use. But if you're talking about building political power for black folks and building economic self-sufficiency for black folks and keeping black men out of jail, you better have something more than the Bible and the Quran, because white folks got those too. It's time for you to wake up and live in the world that you are in as opposed to the world you wish you was in. All mentally ill people have two things in common. All mentally ill people, black, white, and purple, number one, they have denial. All mentally ill people are in denial. If I got to do therapy with an alcoholic, I got to convince him he's an alcoholic. He's drinking 30 beers a day, and he's telling me he's not an alcoholic. So first I got to get him to stop what? Being in denial. You overeat 1,000 pounds, trying to convince me that one more extra pint of Breyers I got to get you out of denial. Black folks absolutely hate ourselves, but we are in denial about it. You cannot tell black folks that we are not self-hating. Even though you spend $2 million a year on Ed Jordan, who gives nothing to the black community, you don't hate yourself. Even though you spend $4 million a year on liquor and alcohol, and none of that money come back to the black community, but you're not self-hating. And black women, your weave and perm bill, I'm not here to be your friend. God sent me to wake you up. $30 billion a year on weave, perm, and beauty products. Black people spend more money on beauty products than any other race in America, and you want me to believe that that don't have anything to do with the white man calling you ugly for 4 centuries.
All right.
But guess what? At the Frederick Douglass Marcus Garvey Academy won't be no weaves and perms. Because if you're going to be one of my teachers, you're going to be one of my nurses, you're going to be one of my secretaries, you won't come to work happy to be nappy or not at all. God knew exactly what he was doing when he gave you a big nose and nappy hair. And if you got a problem with it, that's your problem. But I know my Lord don't make mistakes. Black power. Now, ladies, I didn't say you had to go natural right now. Because some of y'all got some scalp conditions. I cut hair, so I know about the scalp conditions. So, brother, if your sister got some bald spots or ringworm, work with her scalp every night. Massage it, wash it, put some shea butter, kiss it, and talk to the roots. You gotta talk to the roots to make it come back. Stop laughing, baby. Eat them oxtails. And them oxtails was good. First of all, put a hand together for Brother Ebo, who allowed me to be here today. My good brother. He's from the Gambia in Africa. The Gambia is the country where Alex Haley's ancestors came from. The movie Roots was based out of Gambia. I visited it 3 years ago. I spoke at a vegan conference. I'm not vegan. I am on the weekends. I'm a weekend vegetarian. But during the week, I want my shrimp, my chicken. Lord have mercy. Women don't cook no more. Young women don't cook no more. The college educated sisters, they gave up cooking. Sisters, you got to get back in the kitchen. You ain't got to stay there. I don't believe a woman's place is there. Women are intelligent with minds and brains and talents and gifts like everybody else. But I'm going to tell you something. The way to a man's heart is still through his stomach. Every man in this audience know what I'm talking about. Because every man in this audience dated a woman who you normally wouldn't have dated. She was not your type until she came home with them deviled eggs and them greens with the turkey juice. You saw her one time, you told your sister, nah, that ain't really my type, sis, I'm straight. But after you had that damn cornbread and them jerk wings, she came back the next day, you said, wait a minute. She do look like Beyonce. Brothers and sisters, Dr. Umar's here today to tell you we can win, y'all. We don't have to stay on the bottom. But in order to win, we got to do something we ain't done for over 100 years, and that is discipline your spending habits and put your money together. I am totally disappointed by the fact I can't go to a single. Is that Sister Angie over there? This is Sister Angie. She's the first person to bring me to Dallas Fort Worth. Give her a hand. Many years ago. My eyes ain't that good no more, Angie. But I saw that look you do, so I knew it was you. And then I want y'all to give a hand to my assistant and the sister who helped me find this place and Brother Evo so that we could do this lecture, book sign of the day, up there, Sister Sabrina with my books. Give her a hand. She's the reason we was able to make this happen. Brothers and sisters, listen. There's not a black community in America where I can go and find a black-owned independent school, a black-owned supermarket, a black-owned hospital, and a black-owned bank. Let me say that again. Because we just celebrated Black Wall Street Tulsa last month. 1921 to 2021. White folks came in, they torched Tulsa. They came in, they torched Rosewood. They came in, they torched Wilmington, North Carolina. They came in, they torched Charleston. They burned down all the great black Wall Streets. But my question is, why haven't we built any more? You know why? Because slavery did something to the consciousness of the Negro that we still have not recovered from. And guess what that was? The essential curse of slavery was it made black people comfortable having no control over your life. When Chinese get the dollars, the first thing Chinese do is build a Chinese community. When Mexicans get the dollars, the first thing Mexicans do is build a Mexican community. When Anglo-Saxons get the dollars, first thing they do is build an Anglo-Saxon community. But building a community is the last thing on black people's minds. You have no desire to give your grandchildren a better life than the one you had. Which is another problem we have, because we're the only race who lives for 2, maybe 3 generations. You live for your children, maybe. You live for your grandchildren, maybe. But when are you going to live for your great-great-great-grandchildren's great-great-great-grandchildren? That's how the European Jews do it. That's how the Japanese do it. They live in 10 generations down the road, and you're just trying to get to retirement. That's why you can waste so much money on hair. That's why you can waste so much money on Air Jordans. You ain't even got a black wife. And by the way, I'm going to just be honest with the brothers in here. I don't care if you like me, and I can give a damn about that, but any black man who's married to anything other than a black woman is a black man I don't respect. The black man belongs with the black woman, period. Don't tell me about Charles Barkley. I don't hear about Kanye West. I don't hear about Jalen Rose. I don't hear about none of these black celebrities with their white wives. And guess what? I'm not against interracial marriage because I dislike white people. That has nothing to do with it. I ain't got no problem with the white woman. Hi and bye. Keep your cookies for yourself. I like my meat cooked. Anyway, cut it out. The reason I'm against interracial marriage is because most women will outlive their husbands. Women live longer than men. Men are physically stronger, women are biologically stronger. It's a fact. So if I marry a white girl, or Chinese, or Arab, or Mexican, or Latino, you don't have Latinos, blacks hiding from it, but if I die, Kobe Bryant, and Vanessa gets all my billions, is Vanessa going to come back to Philadelphia, Kobe, and drop off a check for the black kids? We lost Marvin Hagler, one of the greatest black middleweight boxing champions of all time, to COVID. You think his white widow is going to drop a check off to the ghetto? The problem with interracial marriage is you're taking away wealth from your own people and giving it to another group who done already robbed and stole enough from you. And that's why interracial marriage is one of the greatest acts of betrayal a black man can commit. You don't take what our ancestors gave you. That football talent ain't yours. They came from ancestors. Your singing ability, your rapping ability, your dancing ability, your intellectual ability didn't come from you. It came through you by way of God down through the ancestral line. So how dare you take something my ancestors gave you and use it to help white people get richer? It's funny when I'm walking through the airport, right? If a brother got his white girl with him and he notices doctor, you should see how they act. You should see these coons. They start ducking. He's trying to act like he's going to the bathroom. You should see him. White girl looking at me like this, is he going to swing on? First of all, white woman, I'm not mad at you because you don't have no obligation to me. He do. And then black mother, I gotta get on y'all a little bit too, because I'm running into young black mothers who are telling me their religion doesn't allow them to tell their sons to be loyal to black women. How can that be possible? How can a black woman complain about not having enough good black men, but you won't tell your son to stay loyal to black women?
Come on now.
And then you want to call me up talking about some Dr. Umar, my son taking a white girl to the prom. Can you talk to him? Wait, before I talk to him, let me talk to you. He's taking a white girl to the prom. Is that correct? Yes. Is your hair natural or is it Europeanized? So you have a weave, perm, green contacts and anything? You skin bleach? And so by the time I finish interviewing the mother, guess what I find out? The mother is trying to be a bootleg copy of the white girl he taken to the prom. So if your son was raised in a house where the black woman emulates the white woman, why bother with the bootleg when you can have the real thing? And black men, get over this. White women understand you better. Go ask Bill Cosby, my North Philadelphia brother, about white girls. He learned now. I'm glad he out though. He had no business being in there. Bill Cosby didn't touch them. Did you see what they look like? So let me get this right. Bill Cosby is the #1 television personality of all time at the time. He sexually harasses 40 unattractive white girls. No curves, no shape, no butt. He harasses them in 1975. But they don't say a word for 40 damn years. And then all of a sudden, in 2014-15, they have a European epiphany. Cut it out. They all wake up at one time and decide to turn them in for harassment 40 years ago. Now, first of all, the white woman is the most privileged person in America. The black man is the most despised. So you mean to tell me the #1 black television personality at the time sexually harassed you and you said nothing for 4 decades? Let me tell you the real reason why Bill Cosby went to jail. Because him and his wife, Camille, own a house in Massachusetts that sits on top of some untapped oil. And the second largest oil company in the world tried to get them to sell. And if they didn't want to sell, they said, let us drill. Then Bill and Camille said, we're not selling and we're not drilling. Next thing you know, he got brought up on charges. The purpose of the Cosby conspiracy was to bankrupt him through legal fees. Bankrupt him through legal fees so he has to sell the house and they can get their oil. Now, I don't know why Bill got out. Part of me says white folks couldn't afford for him to die in prison because of who he is. That wouldn't be a good look for white supremacy who likes to play international police in every other country but its own. Then another part of me said they might have finally sold the house. Or maybe there's something else we don't yet know about. But the bottom line is, and when I see him, I'm going to tell him, you need to stay your ass away from white girls. Because see, what the black man don't understand is when you piss off that white girl, because she represents the entire American white power structure, she can make one phone call and transform your whole life. Do you know how many black athletes I know who had their careers destroyed in college because they pissed off a white girl and she decided to go and lie? What did the white girl tell Ezekiel Elliott of the Dallas Cowboys 4 seasons ago? You can call the cops. I'm white. You think they want to listen to you? Y'all need to understand something. And that is all white people are racist. I didn't say most. I didn't say the Republicans. I didn't say the Bushes. I said white people are racist. Now the reason you have trouble comprehending that is because #1, you've been brainwashed by religion. #2, your political IQ is extremely low. And #3, you don't understand the difference between being a bigot and being a racist. You do not have to hate black people to be a racist. You have to hate black people to be a bigot. A racist is not concerned about whether you come from monkeys or whether you're intellectually inferior, whether you were born to be impoverished forever. The racists don't care about that. Racism is not about hating black people. Racism is about controlling controlling the resources, the opportunities, and the power that black people have access to. Let me say it again. To be a racist, you can sleep with black people, you can hang out with them, you can listen to their music, you can babysit their kids, you can go to their churches and catch the damn Holy Ghost. I'm gonna get back to the church in 1 second. You can do all that and still be a racist. Racism simply says, I am white, and I want to make sure white people in Texas forever control black people's access to power, opportunity, and privileges. So now that you all know what racism is, stop thinking your white coworkers are not racist. I knew a black woman who had a white best friend, so she thought. They grew up since preschool, got married together, live over each other's houses, their kids know each other, they worked at the same job. Black girl had 3 masters, white girl had 1. A job promotion came up that the white girl knew about but wasn't qualified for. Do you think she told her black best friend that there's a new supervisor position open that you qualify for? Black friend called Dr. Umar. Dr. Umar, I know she cares about me. This woman has bailed me out, given me money, helped my family. Why didn't she tell me about the job? I said, you are mixing business and personal. Your relationship with that white girl is personal. Y'all grew up together, y'all went to school together, y'all got married together, y'all did everything together, but that's personal. Do you know that white girl has an obligation to her white community to make sure they dominate resources, opportunities, and power? She cannot help you get that job because she must stay loyal to her own people. And the reason black people don't understand racism is because you ain't never been loyal to one another. Now you know why I've never been on Oprah. And when I see Oprah, I'm going to curse her ass out because I should have been on your couch. See, they'll put me on the Breakfast Club. They'll put me on Tom Joyner. They'll send me to Rolling Fat, Nasty, No Neck Mark. They'll send me all over the place. But they will not give me Oprah's couch because they know I'm not going to act like those other black intellectuals y'all see on the news. Dr. Umar going to call the kettle black. They going to stay all around it. Mark Lamont Hill and Michael Eric Dyson and Cornell West. Why ain't Dr. Umar up there with them? I got more degrees than they got. Why I'm not up there? Because you don't know how to dance to the tune. And I ain't never going to dance to the tune. See, I'm what you call unapologetically African. If I was in slavery, I would have been running away with Nat Turner. I'd been right next to Nat Turner. You out here being a part-time revolutionary, white folks is full-time racists. $2 million on joints, $4 million on liquor, over $3 billion on video games. You parents are crazy. His ass can barely read and he got every game. Something's wrong with you. I go into your house, I see Air Jordans, laptops, big screen TVs, iPads, iPods, a white Jesus on the wall. Raise your hand if you still got a white Jesus on your wall. Do not lie, this is a psychotherapeutic session. We are in the deep south. I know Texas Negroes got white Jesus because this is part of the Bible Belt. I mean, what's the TD Fakes is down in here. Is he not? Is he not? Potter's house, no Negro, poverty house, because you're not building nothing for black folks. Now, do you know the black church has been racism's #1 supporter? What do you mean, Ifatunde? Slavery would have ended 100 years sooner had it not been for black pastors telling our ancestors to wait on God to open those chambers. See, the problem with the church is they love to evangelize black oppression. And they love to make you think that your condition is due to something divinely ordained, when the truth is you are where you are because you choose to be there. Let me ask this another way. If the pastor is not a traitor, help me understand how black people give the black church $13 billion annually. In Texas, got nothing but churches. I've been driving around here today. White Jesus is alive and well in Texas. But I don't see no black banks. I don't see no black supermarkets. Y'all got all these churches. Everybody in love with the Lord. No black independent schools. So help me understand how you are about the business of your Father's work in heaven, but you comfortable with your people living in hell. Somebody help me out. See, they have brainwashed us into thinking that being poor means God is on your side. Blessed are the poor. That's why you don't like to save no damn money. Because in the back of your mind, you think it's some sort of a blessing to be broke. Oh, I got news for you. Money is not the root of all evil. Not having no damn money is the root of all evil. When you go home today, who you ducking from, Bill Gates or Tay-Tay and Mike? Being broke is hell, not being rich. And what black people fail to realize is if we work together, we got enough for everybody, but we love to compete. Lord have mercy. How did the Koreans take over the black beauty business? How do the Koreans control black beauty? It's because the black barbershops was too busy competing. And the black hair salons was too busy competing. Instead of cooperating, so the Koreans came in, played divide and conquer, separate and rule, and now they own your whole supply chain. Oh, we love to fight. Negroes love tribalism. That's right, that's why we got gangs. We love to fight. Light skin, dark skin, Muslim, Christian, nappy head, straight head, vegan, meat eaters. Cut it out, Gail. I'm walking down the street, the damn vegan about to fight the meat eaters. What the hell is this? And I ain't got no problem with vegetarianism because the FDMG Academy is going to be 90% raw and vegan. But we're not going to be 100%. Because people who don't never eat no meat, some of them crazy acting. Their eyes be wide open in the room. Let me get back to the kids. First of all, we got 5 major problems in black America. What are the 5 major problems in black America? What is the 5-headed dragon of white supremacy in Texas? It is miseducation, mass incarceration, gentrification, police genocide, and access to wealth. So, let me go back to the church. What church in Dallas is leading the fight for better schools? No answer. What church in Dallas is leading the fight against police brutality? What church in Dallas is leading the fight to change the criminal code? What church in Dallas is leading the fight to stop white folks from pushing us out of our own neighborhoods? T.D. Jakes leading any of those? I bet you he not. Because T.D. Jakes is set up by white churches. T.D. Jakes is a white church product. Do your research. I'm going to leave it there. That's why he never talks about the black power thing. Because white folks set him up. And what black church is doing anything about reparations or economic equality? Why did they kill Dr. King on April 4th, 1968? Dr. King wasn't murdered because he wanted us to eat at the lunch counter. Dr. King said, what good is it if my people can sit at the lunch counter but can't afford to pay for the meal? Dr. King said, civil rights is not enough. We need economic equality. And the reason Dr. King died on April 4th, 1968 in Memphis, Tennessee is because 2 days later he was doing Washington, D.C. as part of the breadbasket campaign, where Dr. King was bringing poor people to the nation's capital, black, white, brown, and they was going to live there, erect a tent city, and sleep there until every American left with a house and a job. Economic revolution. Dr. King had to die, and they used Jesse Jackson to set him up. I don't believe you, Dr. Umar. Don't believe me. I know you believe white people, right? So why don't you go and get the book written by the King family attorney. His name is William Pepper. He wrote the book. He also sued in court on behalf of the Dr. King family when Coretta was alive and won, proving that the FBI killed Dr. King, not James Earl Ray. And guess who was the shooter? A sharpshooter from the Memphis Police Department is the one who executed Dr. King. Guess who the standby shooters? Green Berets from the U.S. Army. If the police missed, the Green Berets had to take him out. And guess what? The Green Berets said, because he interviewed him in a book, if you read, the Green Berets said, they didn't even tell us who he came to Memphis to kill. But when we saw Dr. King come out onto the balcony, we finally realized that we were sitting here to murder Dr. King. But before we could take the shot had already been taken. Dr. King's assassination is the most thoroughly planned assassination in American history. It was more intricate than JFK and more intricate than Malcolm. They killed King to prevent economic revolution. Because let's be honest, there's no amount of reparations America can give black people to pay for what we did. Because we are the reason America is what she is. But you got Negroes running around talking about they just want a paycheck. I believe in reparations. The most honorable Marcus Garvey is the father of modern reparations. But I don't want no cash. Do you know the white man's money ain't even worth anything? It's a promissory note. I don't want no money from my ancestors' pain. I want resources. Did y'all see what Bob Johnson, who used to own BET and sold it to Viacom for $2 billion in 2000, what did Bob Johnson say? Bob Johnson said every African American, now he's a billionaire and look how silly he is. He said every African American should get a check for $350,000 for your ancestors' reparations. Can somebody in this room please tell me what the hell you gonna do with $350,000? But let me ask you a better question. You mean to tell me that you took my people, dehumanized them, treated them like dogs, the only slavery in world history where the victim was stripped of his humanity? I think y'all forget that before we could fight to be free, we had to fight to prove we were people. Y'all forget that, don't you? The African man and woman were considered things, not beings. We didn't come as immigrants. We came as imports. And that's why I get mad at a lot of y'all who keep on trying to make the black struggle equal to the gay struggle, or make the black struggle equal to the feminine struggle, or make the black struggle equal to the multicultural struggle. I just got one question for you. Were homosexuals forced to work for free for 243 years? Were homosexuals dehumanized by law? Did white women build America with chains on their wrists? Was it ever illegal for them to learn how to read? Hell no. So why y'all keep running around talking about we gotta unite with everybody? Homosexuals ain't never helped you. The white feminist movement ain't never helped you. And black women, if y'all don't leave the feminist thing alone, that's a white woman's thing. And guess what? And guess what? Who funded the American feminist movement? The CIA financed Gloria Steinem and her magazine and her movement. If you don't believe me, do your research. So all you sisters running around call yourself a feminist, that ain't nothing but a U.S. government operation. And why did the government create the feminist movement? To get the mothers out the home so they could brainwash the kids. All you got to do is prove me wrong. Don't believe nothing I say today. Go and do your own research. Talking about a feminist. I understand why the white woman was a feminist, because the white man told her she couldn't leave the house. I understand why the white woman was a feminist. The white man told her she couldn't wear pants. I understand why the white woman was a feminist. The white man told her you can't own a business, you can't be a pastor of a church, you can't go to college. Because the white man, white culture, never considered the woman to be an equal. That's not African culture. In our culture, the man and women are both manifestations of a single divine reality and cannot exist without the other half. So we never put the sister second. Now you got some brothers do, because they've been influenced by religions that's been taken from them over by their oppressor and then given back to them. which is why none of your major religions ever deal with God, supreme consciousness in the female form. It is always He. God is He every day if you Muslim. God is He every day if you Hebrew. God is He every day if you Jehovah's Witness. God is He every day if you a Christian. In African culture, God is both He and she. Not because God is a man or a woman, but God is the owner of divine masculine and divine feminine manifestations. If my wife about to have a baby, what the hell I'm calling God the Father for? Men don't have kids. So out of touch with who you are that they gave you a book and a religion and took all your culture away. So let me get this right. African culture is at least 250,000 years old. Let me say this again. African culture is at least 250,000 years old. Christianity is 2021 years old. Islam is 1,500 years old. Judaism might be 3,000 to 5,000 years old. If your culture is 250,000 years old, how do you let somebody drop off a book and make you forget everything you was doing before you got the damn book? Because if you don't wake up, one day they will say, here used to live black folks. You think that COVID bomb got dropped for nothing? They dropped COVID to get rid of elderly blacks. Cicely Tyson took the shot, she gone. DMX took the shot, he gone. Marvelous Marvin Hagler took the vaccination, he gone. Hank Aaron, one of our greatest black baseball players, took the shot, he gone. Think about everybody you know who died from COVID. Most of them above the age of 60 because it was an old black man and woman's killer drug. And some of y'all can't wait to get the vaccination. Some of y'all already vaxxed the hell up. You done lost your damn mind. I'm not letting no white man put no chemicals in his body. He done put enough chemicals in me, no more. Some of y'all get the flu shot every year. Elders, stop getting the damn flu shot. I'm getting tired of riding past Walmart when it get cold outside. Y'all walking to the damn pharmacy like a slave line. I need my flu shots. And the older you get, the more toxic the flu shot becomes. Did you know that? The older you are, the more toxic the flu shot. And that COVID ain't nothing but a black death shot. Leave the white man's vaccinations alone. And speaking of vaccinations, y'all live in Texas, so you guys are lucky. Just like us in Pennsylvania. In the state of Texas, just like in the state of Pennsylvania, like in the state of Ohio and others, your child can go to public and charter school without any vaccinations at all. Because in Texas, y'all have philosophical exemption. Do you know what that means? That means all you have to do is say you disagree with vaccinations for children and your child can still be registered in public and charter school. That is state law in Texas. So don't tell me you had to give your baby them shots, because you do know the measles, mumps, and rubella shot is what's causing the autism in black boys. Do y'all know that? Oh yeah. Stop giving your sons them damn shots. He was all fine until he turned 2 years old. Then he got them 2 and 3-year-old shots. Boy, ain't talked since. And you know what? The government knew that autism was causing, that the MMR shot was causing autism in black boys, but they didn't care. You know why they didn't care? What better way to kill a black Messiah than make sure he can't communicate with his people? Where would Malcolm X have been if they gave him some Ritalin? Where would Dr. King have been if they gave him some Adderall? Where would Fred Hampton have been if they gave him some Concerta? You parents are out of your mind giving your children them ADHD drugs. They kill their brain cells, mess with their growth, cause early baldness, psychotic problems, suicidation, homicidation, sleeping problems, weight loss, weight gain. Not to mention, he might not be able to have kids when he grows up, because the drugs that they give him erode their ability to produce healthy semen. And they also grow breasts, because the drugs got estrogen. Oh yeah, there's a group of white boys right now, white men suing the pharmaceutical company for taking ADHD medicine that caused them to grow breasts. If I'm wrong, just prove it. And let me tell you something else, Texas parents. Don't listen to me, and I'm going to tell you what's going to happen. This school year going to come up, you're not going to listen to Dr. Umar. The school going to tell you they want your son tested for ADHD. You're going to go take them to get tested. School going to find out they got tested. Once the school finds out the child is diagnosed with ADHD, they can now do what? Force the medication. And if you don't medicate your child, they're going to call child services on you. And the child services worker going to come out and they're going to threaten you. Your son has ADHD. He needs Ritalin. If you don't give it to him, we're going to take all your kids from you. Oh, yeah. I know black people right now don't have no children at home. You know why? Because I told them, don't get them tested for ADHD. Well, I just wanted to know. I told you, you can't prove it. ADHD is an idea. When do we get ADD? 1980. Same year the CIA drops off crack cocaine. Is that a coincidence? Nope. They start drugging the men and drugging the boys the same year. Chemical warfare against the black community. And y'all got these white teachers in coons. Because it ain't all white teachers. You got some coons. And I'm going to tell you parents right now, you better stop trusting these black people in your child's school. They are not your friends. But you know how they get you? They come in there dressed like Dr. Umar. They had a dashiki on. Y'all know I'm right. You go in there, oh baby, I met our son's principal. Oh my God, he's conscious. His name is Dr. Ma'at Ra Kanun Getz. Cut it out, Queen Mama! You got a big Shaka Zulu poster, some Egyptian musk incense, a green smoothie. In a Tupac hat! And so now you think you care about black boys. You just lost your name. I can count on one hand the amount of black principals I thought actually did a good job. First of all, it's hard to even be a black principal over white folks because they're not going to let you punish the teachers anyway. You ain't nothing but a manager of miseducation. The teachers got more power than the principal. And if the principal try to make the teachers teach, the teachers will get rid of the principal. That's why some of y'all walk into your child's school and you see the principal kissing the teacher's butt. And you're like, wait a minute, he the principal. Why is he kissing their behind? Because if he make them mad, they will call the union and say he's causing them too much emotional distress, and he will get vaxxed. Brothers and sisters, I want to give y'all 10 tips for protecting your children in school. But first of all, I want to say, before you leave here today, because I'm going to wrap up in a few and take some questions and I'm going to start signing books, make sure you get a copy of my new book, Black Parent Advocate. If you raising black kids in Texas and you ain't got my book, sooner or later, you're going to get screwed. Because the school is going to want to do something to your kid and you're not going to know how to do it. And you're going to try to contact Dr. Umar, but I won't be able to take your call because hopefully my school will be up and running soon. So you need to get the book. They want to put your child in special ed. You don't think your child needs to be in special ed? I got a letter in the book that you give to the school. All you got to do is recreate the letter. You want your child tested for mentally gifted and they refuse to test your child for mentally gifted? I got the letter in the book. All you got to do is recreate it. Your child got a speech problem. Your child been getting speech for 10 years. Still stuttering? Uh-oh. You have a right to compensatory education. What is compensatory education? Reparations for poor education. Your child been in speech for 5 years, still stuttering, that means the school owes you comp ed for 5 years of speech. That means if your child gets 2 hours of speech a week, there's about 38 weeks of school a year, times 2 hours, times 5 years, that money goes into a trust fund, and you get to go find a private speech therapist, and they build the school district until all your hours are used up. Let me tell you something else I know y'all don't know in Texas. When your child is evaluated for special ed, if you don't agree with the conclusion of a psychological evaluation report, you have a right to a second opinion. Did y'all know that? And the school district has to pay for it. It's real simple. The letter's in the book. All you got to do, Dr. Adolf Hitler, my son goes to your school. We hate black people charter school in Dallas. I received an evaluation that says my son has a reading disability. I do not agree with this conclusion. When my son was in the 3rd grade, he got suspended 2 days every week. He wasn't allowed to be in class long enough to learn how to read. When my son was in the 2nd grade, he had a white teacher right out of the University of Texas. She could barely read herself. When my son was in the 1st grade, This teacher went out on maternity leave in January. My son had 6 substitutes from January until June. I don't think my son has a reading problem. I think your school has an instructional problem. I do not give permission for him to be tested for special ed, and I do not want to be harassed about this topic ever again. See, one thing I need y'all to understand, ADHD is not a special ed disability. Did y'all know that? ADHD is not a special ed disability. So how did he end up in special ed for ADHD if ADHD is not diagnosed inside the school? Because you let them people convince you to take your child outside the school to the clinic or the doctor. At the clinic or the doctor, he got diagnosed with ain't no daddy to home disorder. You brought the report back to the good white folks at the Dallas Public Charter School, and now because you, with your trifling self, brought that report back to the good white folks, they can now special educate your kids because you brought them a report that they didn't have to know about. So let me give you rule number 1 for black parents, especially my black mothers out there, because you're raising most of the kids. I'm not singling you out. It's just that 75% of black kids are raised by the mother. Stop telling all your business to teachers. You talk too much. The teacher don't need to know your son father in jail. The teacher don't need to know you on welfare. The teacher don't need to know you live in your mama's basement. The teacher don't need to know you expect another child. Teacher does not need to know you are unemployed. Because if the teacher finds out you are unemployed, they will harass you every single day that your child does something. They'll make you come pick them up early. They'll make you come sit with them in class. The worst thing you can do is let the school know I'm a single mother doing it all by myself. Stop looking for pity because you want to get more oppression. Another thing mothers need to stop doing, stop letting them know you're a single mother. Stop bragging about being a single mother. The children of single mothers are more likely to be suspended, expelled, special educated, medicated, and juvenile adjudicated. Stop bragging about being single. Next time, if they ask you if you're married, say yeah, and then tell them you have 2 husbands. I'm dead serious. If they ask you why they never saw your husband, say he works out of town. I take care of all the business. Next rule, don't go to no school meetings by yourself. Always take people with you. You parents in Texas got a bad habit of going to the schools alone. Don't do that. Why not? Because you need somebody who can testify to what exactly was said or agreed upon. Because guess what? White folks lie to your face every day, all day inside them schools. But you can't prove it because you showed up by yourself. Have you ever noticed whenever you go to the meeting, they'll have 20 white people for 1 black mother in Dallas? You go to a meeting about your son's behavior. They got the principal, vice principal, principal intern, dean of students, math coach, reading coach, school nurse, school psychologist, school social worker, home and school coordinator, the window cleaner, the bus driver, the trash man, the lunch aide. 1 black mother. 20 white folks. For 2 reasons. Number 1, they need a witness to all the lies they're about to say. And number 2, they want to intimidate you into thinking you don't know your child. So guess what you do, black mother? Next time you go to a meeting, you know they like to bring 20 white folks? You call 20 corner boys. Go get Tay, Mike, and Deuce in them, right? You tell them to wait outside. Say, Deuce, I'm going to text you. I'm going to text you a number. If it's 10 white folks, text them a 10. If it's 7 white folks, text them a 7. Deuce, whatever number I text you, I want you to bring twice as many. So guess what? It was 8 white folks. You text Deuce 8. Deuce came in at 16 weed heads. And then you tell Deuce, I don't want you to talk because you're going to mess this whole thing up. I just want you to look gangster. And the minute they start ganging up on me, you see the white folks ganging up on me, I want you to bang the table 1 time. And then all 16 gonna do this. Because white folks are scared of black men who ain't got nothing to lose. So black woman, if the father ain't got enough gangster in him, and the uncles ain't free to come to the meeting, you go to the corner and you get Leroy and Randy. And you tell them you want the tattoos exposed, white beater out, cornrows freshly done, smelling like marijuana and Egyptian musk. Brothers and sisters, I I want to invite y'all up to Wilmington, Delaware on Saturday, September the 11th. Even though we still renovating the school, we decided that we wanted to bring the people to the school so y'all can see them with your own two eyes. So on Saturday, September the 11th, which is Ethiopian New Year, the beginning of the calendar for the oldest people in human history, September 11th, we're going to celebrate with an unapologetically African family festival. There's going to be free food, music, games, performance, vendors, giveaways, t-shirts. We're going to have a big pool for the kids, water slides for the kids, bring the kids. And that's Saturday, September the 11th. I hope to see some of y'all up there. And I'm hoping to have the school totally renovated by the end of this year. The Marcus Garvey building, because we have two schools. And once we've done Garvey, we're going to go right across the street to the Frederick Douglass High School, which is 4 times as big as the Garvey building. This has been a very tough road. We've been taken advantage of by black contractors. We've been robbed by black contractors. They broke into the school and tried to burn it down on one occasion. So we've been going through hell. Black folks, not white folks, coons. That's why one of the things we got to understand is not all black people is going to go along for the struggle, brothers and sisters. We got some Negroes who love white folks so much, they would kill you before they leave a white person. Okay? Do not come to my cookout with your white friends either. Keep their ass in Texas. This is for black people! As I prepare to wrap this up, I will be in Miami, Florida on Saturday, July 24th. I'll be in Austin, Texas at the HBCU on the 25th. That's a 4 o'clock start. And then I'll be in Denver, Colorado for Marcus Garvey Day, Friday the 13th of August. Louisville, Kentucky, Marcus Garvey Day, Saturday the 14th. Macon, Georgia, Marcus Garvey Day, Sunday the 15th. In Harlem, New York, where Marcus Garvey made his name on his birthday, August the 17th in Harlem. And then I'll be in Kenosha, Wisconsin at the request of Brother Jacob Blake, our brother who was shot and paralyzed by the police last August 23rd. His father asked me to come and speak and join them with the march in Raleigh. So, on my birthday, August the 21st, I'm normally down in Nat Turner Land, Virginia, where Nat Turner led the most successful slave revolt in American history on August the 21st. So this will be my first time in 11 years. I won't be at Nat Turner Land, Virginia. I'll be up in Kenosha, Wisconsin, standing in solidarity with Brother Jacob Blake. You guys are more than welcome to come. And then on August the 28th, I'll go to the U.S. Virgin Islands, St. Croix, to keynote the Ethiopian World Federation 84th anniversary. I might be in Indianapolis on the 19th of August, Gary, Indiana on the 20th, Little Rock, Arkansas, September 24th, and Memphis, Tennessee on the 25th. I will be coming back to Texas because there's something that still must be done. 2 things. 1, I have to come back and do my 12-hour Black Parent Know Your School rights. It is a 12-hour training that I'm going to do in Texas. I haven't made up my mind if I'm going to do it in Dallas or Houston, but it will be a 12-hour training. We start at 8 in the morning. We end 8 at night. You must be in your seat by 10 a.m. If you show up after 10, you will not get in because you have already missed too much information for the rest of the training to be relevant. I'm going to teach you all the disabilities. I'm going to teach you how to write letters to the school. I'm going to teach you the difference between a 504 plan and an IEP plan. I'm going to teach you about the due process laws, the FERPA laws, the civil rights laws that apply to your child in the school. By the time you're done with me, you will be a master parent advocate. You'll be able to help any child or any parent who's in distress. So I'll be coming back to Texas to do that probably before the end of the year because it's hot down here all the time mostly. So when it get cold up in Philly, I'm going to slide down here and do a training. As I close, I want to leave y'all with a quote from my ancestor, Frederick Douglass. My family was brought to America in 1701. A black man by the name of Bailey, most likely stolen from the Igbo nation of Nigeria. He was brought to Talbot County, Eastern Shore, Maryland. He married a black woman by the name of Selah. In 1745, they had Grandma Jenny. In 1774, Grandma Jenny gave birth to Grandma Betsy Bailey. Although born into slavery, she married a free black man, my grandfather Isaac Bailey. They had 12 children. One daughter was named Harriet, another daughter was named Young Betsy after her mother. Harriet and Young Betsy, my 5 times great-grandmother, were raped by the white man who owned our family. As a result of that rape, the greatest black leader in American history was born on February 14th of 1818. His name, Frederick Augustus Washington Bailey. At the age of 20, cousin Fred ran away and changed his last name to hide his identity on the fugitive slave trail, so Frederick Bailey became Frederick Douglass. 1 year later, in 1819, my grandmother, young Betsy, gave birth to Frederick's first cousin and half-brother, my 4 times great-grandfather, Stephen Henry Bailey. Cousins because their mothers were sisters. Half-brothers because the slave master raped those sisters. Grandpop Stephen didn't run away from slavery. He married Grandma Caroline. On November 14th, 1841, they gave birth to Grandpop George, who became the first black public school teacher in Denton, Maryland. The Civil War starts in 1861. Grandpop George is 60. He joins the United States Colored Troops of Maryland, 9th Regiment. Grandpop Stephen joined the United States Colored Troops of Maryland, 19th Regiment. And both of my grandfathers, father and son, although in different regiments, were in Appomattox when General Lee surrendered to the Union. My grandfather Stephen was down here in Texas on June 19, 1865, when General Granger read Special Order Number 3, said all blacks in Texas must be immediately emancipated. My grandfather was there. And Juneteenth is not about no Gordon Granger reading no article. That is not when our ancestors in Texas found out that slavery was over. They already knew slavery was over. But the Texas power structure refused to acknowledge the Emancipation Proclamation, so black soldiers came to Texas, my grandfather amongst them, and said, we're willing to give our life until all black people in America are free. They never called Juneteenth Juneteenth. It was Black Emancipation Day. Frederick Douglass said, I didn't finish the family tree. After the Civil War is over, Grandpa George marries Grandma Mamie. They have Grandma Caroline. Grandma Caroline moves to Philadelphia. She has Grandma Vivian. Grandma Vivian marries a Spanish-speaking Cuban immigrant from Havana, my Grandpa Cicero. They had Grandma Maya, who passed 3 years ago. She meets and marries James Johnson. They have Jamal Johnson. He meets and marries Barbara. They have some cookies and milk. And then on August the 21st, the anniversary of the Haitian Revolution, August the 21st, the anniversary of the Nat Turner War, August the 21st, the anniversary of the George Jackson War against prison, August 21st, the anniversary of the Frederick Douglass Fugitive Slave Convention. Umar Johnson was born in North Philadelphia for one purpose and one purpose only, to psychologically liberate all African people from Dallas to Philly, from Philly to London, from London to Jamaica, from Jamaica to Brazil, from Brazil to Ghana, Ghana to Ethiopia. Frederick Douglass said, if there is no struggle, there is no progress. Those who profess the faith of freedom and deprecate agitation are like men who want crops without plowing up the ground. They want rain but can't stand the thunder or the lightning. They want the ocean, but they're scared of the awful roar of the waves. Frederick said, a man may not get all you pay for, but you will pay for all that you get. And if we as a people will ever become free of the injustices inflicted upon us, we must pay for their removal. We must pay with blood or with blows or with our very lives. But he who wants to be free must himself strike the first blow. Frederick said, for 20 years, I prayed on my knees to God for freedom, but the good Lord gave Frederick no freedom until I got up off my knees and started praying with my feet. He said, you want respect from white people? Why do you look for pity? The man who pities you will never respect you, and the man who pities you and the man who respects you has no need for pity. Power concedes nothing without a demand. It never did and it never will. The motto of the Frederick Douglass Marcus Garvey Academy are the words of Frederick Douglass when he said, it is better to raise strong children than to repair broken men. That is the motto of our school. And the Honorable Marcus Garvey, who gave us the largest black organization in world history, the Honorable Marcus Garvey, who gave us the only black organization of a large following that did not tie itself to a religion, Marcus Garvey, who gave us the red, black, and green flag, He said, without confidence in self, you are twice defeated in the race of life. But with confidence, you have won even before you have started. Marcus Garvey was motivated to build the UNIA after reading Booker T. Washington's Up From Slavery. Who was Booker T? A black man, born in slavery. Charleston, West Virginia. Walks the Hampton Institute. Didn't have no money. So he asked the people at Hampton Institute, an HBCU in Virginia, founded by whites, could he work his way through college? They gave him a chance to clean. And he showed how well he could clean and earned a job to pay tuition. And when he graduated from Hampton, the principal got a phone call from Tuskegee, Alabama. They was looking for an educated black man to come south and teach Negroes in Alabama how to make a living. And Booker T took the job. He gets to Tuskegee, there's no school. He uses an old church, an old barn, an old farmhouse. When the first students of Tuskegee Institute show up, they say, Booker T, where's our lecture hall? Where's our dorm? Where's our kitchen? Where's our bathroom? Booker T. Washington said, you standing on it. He made them roll up their sleeves, and the students of Tuskegee made their own bricks, made their own clothes, cooked their own food. They became so popular for making bricks that the white construction companies would come and buy bricks from Tuskegee students instead of the white construction companies. And then Booker T said, I need a science teacher. He heard of a black man also born in slavery by the name of Dr. George Washington Carver, the first of his race to get a PhD in agricultural science, who at the time was being recruited by the U.S. government, at the time recruited by the U.S. military, at the time recruited by U.S. pharmaceutical companies, because he was considered the most intelligent man in the country, not black man, period. Dr. Carver turned down those jobs. He shows up at Tuskegee. He goes to Booker T. He says, Booker T, where's my science lab? Where's my lecture hall? Booker T says, George, all you have is what you see. And that black man, Dr. George Washington Carver, castrated as a child, penis removed from his body by white folks because they thought he wanted to have sex with their daughter. That's why George Washington Carver never had no kids. He went to the trash and took out paper, aluminum, copper, metal, wood, and from the garbage of college students, gave us more than 300 products from the peanut. From the garbage of college students, gave us more than 300 products from the soybean. From the garbage of college students, that black man gave you more than 300 products from the sweet potato. So Dallas, I got a question for y'all. How is it we come from ancestors who had nothing and did it all, yet you got it all and have done nothing? Black power. Brothers and sisters, time check. 4:09. We right on time. Praise the Lord. I'm going to do some Q&A, and then right after we do the Q&A, I'm going to go ahead and take pictures and sign books. You'll be able to come right up here on these steps, and I'll sign your book, have your book out, picture, whatever you want to do. I also have some Juneteenth t-shirts up there for sale. They're $10 a piece. We got man cut, woman cut. We got black, and we also got white. Books are $50, t-shirts are $10, credit card, cash, or cash app. If you're using a cash app, $ Dr. Umar Johnson. If you only put $ Dr. Umar, that's a fake account that one of the coons set up. So you must make sure it's $ Dr. Umar Johnson. Don't forget to donate to the school, $FDMG school. You're going to get a bookmark when you buy your book. The bookmark has the school donation information. Don't donate once. Donate every time you get paid, brothers and sisters, because we're trying to emancipate the minds of African people, and we can only do that by properly educating our children. And although that school is in Delaware, your sons will still be able to come when we do our retreats. Your sons will still be able to come when we do our college tours. Your son will still be able to come when we do our overnight camps. And once the physical school is up, we're going to open up a virtual school. So your son in Dallas, Texas will still be able to tap into the classroom and see his classmates and see his teacher, and his teachers and classmates can see them. If any of you want to work at the school, I need your resume. FDMGresumes@gmail.com. It's also on the bookmark. We need math teachers, science teachers, language teachers, and social studies, but we also need brothers and sisters who know how to grow food. We need brothers and sisters who know martial arts. We need brothers and sisters who know guns and weapons. We need brothers and sisters who know how to make their own clothing. Don't ask yourself if you're a teacher or not. ask yourself if you have a skill that is worth teaching the next generation of black boys. Let me give you my phone number so you can always reach me. Take out your cell phones right now. Ladies, it ain't that type of party. I've been scandal-free for 6 years. No more scandals. Don't be sending me no improper pictures, because I'm going to send them back with a restraining order. Phone number 215-989-9858. Twice more, 215-989-9858. Last time for my special ed parents. I'm picking with you. 215-989-9858. Let me tell you something, you can do this real simple. When you get a letter from your child's school and you do not know what the hell they're talking about, take a picture and text it to me and say, Dr. Umar, I was at Aldi's for your lecture on July 11th. I just got this note from the school and I don't know what they're asking. Can you please give me your input? Look how easy that is. I can help you even though I'm all the way up in Philadelphia. So after the day, I don't ever want to hear a parent in Dallas, Texas talking about the school wants to do something to their children and you don't know what to do about it because you have your own personal certified school psychologist and Dr. Umar Johnson. Problem is solved. And we still need to get a school in Dallas, by the way. So if any of y'all come across a school that's not very expensive, that can hold at least 100 black kids, send me the information. Because we don't have to wait for the Delaware school to be totally done for us to get FDMG Dallas up and running. Are y'all following me? Ultimately, I want to die being the first superintendent of a global Pan-African school district for black children all across the world. That is going to be my legacy and my contribution to our people. That's what I'm working to do. Don't text me no book. If you got a long message, email it. My email address is dr.umarjohnson@yahoo.com. That's DRUMARJOHNSON. No period after doctor. dr.umarjohnson@yahoo.com is the email. 215-989-9858 is the text. I'm the only person who checks my emails, and I'm the only person who checks my text messages.
You said that one more time?
Which one? DRUMARJOHNSON@yahoo.com. Questions. If you have a question, raise your hand. I'm going to give you a number. Do not forget your number. Is that a hand, Bob?
Yes, sir.
Your number one. Hold on. Who's number two? I'm giving out the numbers right now. Any more questions right now? Only the elder? Okay. Go right ahead, Bob.
First of all, I'd like to thank you for coming here.
Thank you.
Last time you signed me, and I'm about to.
Oh, you got the first book. Oh, wow. I'm working on a second edition to that one.
You read about that, having him on your show. But
Yes, sir.
Money, the guy always asked first.
Yes, sir. Good to see you again, elder. I appreciate the support.
But I want to ask you one question.
Sure.
I was on the Annie Casey Foundation's juvenile board.
Uh-huh.
I was a recruiter for the 31 cities in Dallas, and I recruited for a long time. But I can't get any. I only get people that comes to the juvenile board, the juvenile center to help out with the kids, are usually homosexual. The homosexual men. I can't get the black brothers to come. What can I do to get the brothers to come down instead of all these homosexuals and a couple of women? I can't get them to come in with children.
And you said you work with the juvenile boys.
I did. I resigned.
Oh, you resigned?
When Annie Casey found me.
You still got connections there?
Yes, sir.
I would like to come and do a conference with the boys.
Well, I can get with the Commissioner Price, but it's hard to get through the political people and the people they keep apart. They don't respect me anymore, so I had to resign publicly. But I'm gonna keep up with you. I'll be there.
Okay.
I'll be up there too. But I want you to just give me an idea. What can I do to recruit black people?
Really, I think the issue is making sure enough people know what you're trying to do. One of the shortcomings in the black community is our marketing initiatives suck. You know, people tend not to know what we are doing. So I think outreach is most important, something like that. I think the black church might help you advertise with. It's not a threat to
They
them.
don't do nothing.
As long as you're investing with their money, they normally help you. But let's talk further, Baba. Let's see. But I would love to come. I would love to, and for those of y'all who work with young people, if you work with incarcerated populations or addicted populations, I service those three populations for free. Okay? So what do you mean, Dr. Umar? I mean that if your school wants to have a conference for the youth, and they talking about they ain't got no money, I don't care about the damn money. Fly me in, fly me out, I'll do the whole conference myself. If you work at a halfway house with domestically abused women, you work at a halfway house with brothers coming out of prison, you work at a halfway house, people addicted to crack or whatever. I work with all those groups and I don't charge. Now, if you got some money, you need to give me some. I got a school I'm trying to build. But if the money ain't there, I don't care. Incarcerated populations, child populations, addicted and abused populations, I will come for free. So I don't ever want to hear nothing you talking about. I need a speaker for my women and I didn't know who to get. I need a speaker for my brothers. I didn't know who to get. I just told you, Dr. Umar, come for free. You just take care of the flight. King.
You gonna give me a number?
Oh, you number two. Ain't nobody else had a hand on.
Well, you know, in South Dallas, about a year and a half ago.
That's where we are, South Dallas?
No, this is not South Dallas.
Where we at?
I'm not from here. I'm not
North
sure.
This is north.
Yeah.
Okay.
But in South Dallas, they were selling, they had a middle school that came up for sale. I don't know if you know about it.
I don't know.
I was in real estate trying to, I used to do door knocks.
Okay.
So I would go look at commercial properties and find commercial properties to try to figure out how to buy them.
Okay.
Like me and my family. And they had schools there that went for auction. And one of the schools, it's been boarded up for a long time, but I think
It's still there?
I think it sold for like maybe 200 grand.
Ooh, we could have got that.
200,000, but it was huge.
We could have got that.
And
I mean, I prefer that they not be too big, but for 200K,
but it was a big school, man. It was big. So
I like them a little bit more manageable.
but there are different places around. Like it was in the hood though. So
That's where I wanted to be. I don't want no school around white folks.
Yeah. So it's just never black people over there. But if you go over there, man, if you go to South Dallas, just go drive through South Dallas, man.
No, this is what I want you to do. I need you to drive through South Dallas.
Oh, I do it all the
Because
time.
I don't live here.
Yeah.
And if you can, good brother, this is for everybody. Send me the information. Just text me.
So that number's your
That number is my
number?
personal cell. It comes right to me. I mean, the FBI get it too, but it comes straight to me.
Okay. Okay, so another thing is, everything you preached about tonight, I'm a product of. My uncle was castrated by the police.
Castrated?
Yeah, they cut off his.
What year?
I don't know all my family.
Great uncle, maybe.
Yeah, well, no, 'cause it's my dad. It's my dad's brother.
Okay,
It's not.
okay.
I don't know a lot about my dad.
Gotcha.
But I just started hearing stories about how a lot
Wow.
of why I didn't meet some of my family.
Okay.
My uncle died for that. But they castrated him because they thought he wanted to mess with white people.
Yep.
So that's why
Always watching Carver.
I've been trying not to get emotional sitting here.
Yes, sir.
Because I was a product of that, and also I was diagnosed with ADHD as a kid.
Which was a scam.
Well, I didn't finish school due to a lot of other different things. So
Okay.
it's just I'm the product of it. It's like the backlash.
Okay.
Not finishing the school, being misrepresented, and not the just being not put in the right places and going through all that. So since you can sit up here, I've been trying not to get emotional because when
You've been through a lot, bro.
yeah, for sure. But when I tried to go back to school and the programs, because I'm too old. I'm 30 years old.
Okay.
So when I tried to go back and to get my education on a lot of stuff, they were saying I was too old. Like I feel like another problem from us trying to go back to get our education was it has an age limit. So like if you're 23 or if you're 24, you don't qualify for the programs.
I'm listening.
So I felt like that was a big problem because like when I decided to go back to school, all the programs, you're too old. And I actually had someone tell me, we're not worried about people your age. We're worried about people younger than you.
This is college or GED?
No, it was just any type of programs, GED, college. It didn't matter where it was. Like once I got a certain age, when I tried to go back to get help, I couldn't get it because I was too old. Really, I just had to go. I started educating myself, is what I'm saying. I started doing things on my own, but I couldn't get help through the school system anymore because of my age. They said you're too old. So what I'm saying is, I always felt like that was a problem. There should be an age limit on how to get, like you shouldn't be, if you're 30 years old and you want to get help, if you're 40 years old.
If you were white, you would have got the help.
Well, I'm just.
I follow you.
Yeah, I'm saying the backlash is more people like me.
Oh, for sure.
So, and that's another reason
We
why
have to start a black men's movement to help our brothers.
Yeah, well, that's why
And a black women's movement to help our sisters.
That's why I came here to actually. I was going to write a letter to the superintendent of California. I actually had a connection and I was going to see about having you help me write the letter
Okay.
to
Shoot me a text.
this guy, but he's a superintendent. I have his name.
Okay.
I was going to give you the information. I didn't want to do it like this.
Right. Shoot me a text. We can talk. You got my number.
Okay, that's cool. Okay.
I got you. No problem. No problem. Queen.
This is perfect. I was just
Okay.
curious, how do you fix that issue that China's trying to take over countries?
China trying to take over Africa.
Yes.
Then the same question we could ask domestically is how do we fix the issue of non-Africans taking over the black community? All of us have the same mental problems, global. When I go to Africa, they ask me, how are they different from us? They're not. When I go to Jamaica, they ask me, how are we different from the Africans in London, in France? You're not. White supremacy has affected us all. And the reason that Chinese are able to come into Africa and buy it up and steal it up is because the African leaders, just like the ones you got here, are not committed to the best interests of their people. They're committed to the best interests of their pocketbooks. One of the problems that we suffer from as a race globally is we do not build leaders. We pray for them to drop from heaven. Nobody else prays for leaders, they make them. Chinese have leadership colleges. White man, leadership colleges. Black man, we go to church and we pray for God to send us another Dr. King. It's been 56 damn years. When are we going to start making the leaders? Until you change the consciousness of black people, you don't change nothing else about us. The mind must change first. When I started raising money for the school in 2014, people say, with all of the following that you have, why do you want to start with a school? Why? Because until I take the coon out of Negro consciousness, we will never be free. You have to fix the way we think about ourselves and our future in order to fix us. You ain't going to get better black families. You ain't going to get more black institutions. You're not going to get spiritual transformation, economic transformation, or political transformation until you get psychological transformation. I mean, look, we are still comfortable after 400 years and everything the white man has done to the black man, and we still sending our kids to their public schools. You are sick. Our children can't even get after school jobs because you're too busy wasting your money on designer clothing than put them in an after school job so they can stay busy as opposed to be out here on these streets doing things they shouldn't have to do because their black community won't even make sure they have an after school job. See, the reason Chinese kids are loyal to Chinese community and the reason Jewish kids are loyal to the Jewish community is because anything they need, they can get in-house. Black children can't get nothing from the black community. Not a scholarship, not a job, or protection from the police. So until we can start protecting our babies, they will never be loyal to us. And what we see right now, our children have become killers. And they are literally purging the damn neighborhood. That ain't nothing but the pain and the hurt and the disappointment that was put into them all through their childhood. And then they're giving it back to us. Community karma. Take care of the babies or the babies will take you out of here. Sir.
Hey, Dr. Umar.
Where that accent from?
From Kenya.
Kenya, I've been. I spoke at Kenyatta University in 2016. It was the most memorable lecture I ever had because I spoke to African leaders, young leaders from about 38 of the African countries. I never had that many different young African leaders in the same place, and I gave it to them. And the white folks went off. I talked about white Jesus. You should have saw them damn crackers in Africa.
Yes, sir.
Go ahead, my brother.
Well, how do you get the message out to the black people who are born in America? I understand that black people have been here for a long, long time. But we Africans, as we come over here, sometimes we try to talk to the black folks and tell them, what, Africa is changing. Africa is beautiful. But they're like, when you talk to them, like, you're from Africa, like, what are you talking about? Like, Africa, to make them at least travel back to Africa, see, because the economics is changing. The landscape is changing in terms of, business, in terms of, travel, tourism, and everything. Because, back in Africa, all we see is white folks coming over there.
And Chinese.
And the Chinese coming over
Indians.
there. But we don't see black tourism coming to Africa, spending this dollar, because the dollar is very powerful back in Africa. Only $1 is about 100 Kenyan shillings. But if you transfer that money back in Africa, $1,000 is 100,000 Kenyan shillings.
Yes.
If I send $1,000 back in Africa, that's a lot of money. That's a lot of money to keep a family of 6 people comfortably. That's like middle class. So how do we get these black folks to travel back in Africa, to even see them by themselves? Like, Africa is beautiful. Dr. Umar, you've been in Africa for
Yes, I love it.
You
and I
travel.
love those
Ghana.
Kenyan women. Sisters, when y'all go to Kenya, y'all will know y'all from Africa. They look just like y'all. They got the hips and everything. Gorgeous. I want to marry a sister at the University of Kenya. Stay focused. Consciousness over the cookies. Politics over everything. Let me tell you what I'm working on. Number one, we're going back to Africa next time. I normally take a group trip to Africa. Sister Angie been with me a couple times. I'm being shady. I normally take a group trip to Africa every year. We didn't go in 2020 because of COVID. And we didn't go this year because COVID. Next year we go back. So if you've never been to Africa, work on your passport, get it down. Brothers, if you owe child support, you're not going to get a passport. Pay off your damn child support. Marry your baby mom, get it over with. We will be going. We normally go the last week in July, first week in August. The trip is normally $4,500. Everything's included. I don't make any money off the trip. The travel agent does, that's a business, but I don't make any money off the trip. We might go to Kenya. We might do Kenya this time. Because I got to go find that sister from the
But
university.
black folks don't travel. They don't travel. They don't.
No, we do travel. We travel. No, we travel. I don't think enough of us are traveling to Africa, but we travel. Here's the other project I'm working on. Right now, I'm working with a realtor in the Gambia. In fact, I might need to holler at Brother Ebal as well, the owner of the restaurant, because I'm working with a sister in Gambia. She's a realtor. I'm trying to find a multi-unit dwelling where maybe 15 or 20 families can have their own apartment in the same dwelling. And I want to buy that, so for those of you who want to repatriate to Africa, you can do that. And those of you who just want to visit Africa occasionally, you don't have to worry about getting a hotel or no Airbnb because you will have your own residence. So I don't know who you got over there in real estate, my brother, but I need to talk to some people because I also want to get a house over in Africa. And it's very cheap to do it. As he said, the exchange rate, because of how the white man has devalued African currency, it's ridiculous. $1 US, 40 Ethiopian dollars. Did y'all hear that? Your money goes, it multiplies because of that. You can buy a house, you can buy some land and build a house from the ground in Africa. A house that would cost you $1 million here might be $75,000 over there. You know what I had a Nigerian brother tell me in Lagos? He said, I don't understand African Americans. Y'all over there competing with the white man for y'all businesses. You can come to Africa and become a millionaire selling t-shirts. You want to open up a school over here? Open up one in Africa. Be 50 times more successful because they value education over there. Remember, we got out of slavery in 1865. Colonization in Africa didn't end until 1957. So Africa is still young in terms of being free from that direct white oppression, whereas we've been free from the direct form for about 150 years. The future of the African race is the political and economic solidarity of the American African and the continental African. That's not just my opinion. That was actually written on a national state security memorandum by Zbigniew Brzezinski, who engineered Barack Obama's U.S. presidency. He said the only threat to America's global agenda is a solidarity effort between black Americans and black Africans. That's the solution. So instead of giving all your money to Nike, into Perm, and all this other stuff, we need to start investing in Africa because one day we might have to get up out of here. So y'all better get your passport and we better get some land in Africa. I'm serious. But these white folks is losing their mind. I don't know why in the hell they passed a law in Texas talking about y'all can carry guns without a permit. So you know these white boys gonna be armed to the teeth, and every last one of y'all better be armed to the teeth. You better have 50 guns. You better get a gun every payday. I'm not lying because you gotta have guns for the people who ain't got no gun. And I hope you ain't never got to use them. But it's time to get your guns. I'm buying a gun every time I see a gun store. I go buy a gun, a bullet or something. A knife, a butter knife, a bat. Be ready, y'all. And go to the rifle range too, so you don't accidentally shoot somebody you ain't aiming at. And we need to start having community defense meetings as well. I'm serious. God forbid, if there was a white militia that came into Dallas and wanted to hurt black folks, what's the quickest way or the best way out of Dallas? Is there any water you can get out through? Are there any underground tunnels? If there's a bomb going on or a nuclear shower, are there any bomb shelters? Which public schools are the ones specifically designated as a nuclear shelter? These are things you need to do. Marcus Garvey said the greatest weapon used against the Negro is disorganization. We are disorganized. Stokely Carmichael, Kwame Ture said, if you organize a little, you get a little done. If you organize some, you get some done. But if you don't organize at all, you don't get nothing done. We are where we are because we choose to be, not because God put us there. But I do want to say this. American Africans have to work in our relationship with our brothers and sisters from the continent, and our brothers and sisters from the continent need to work in their relationships with us. It's a bi-directional thing. And the white man is telling us, y'all don't want us. And they telling y'all, we don't want y'all. The Black Panther movie was the most disgusting movie that I've seen in a long time. And I'm going to tell you why. The acting was beautiful. The editing was wonderful. The cinematography was beyond anything I saw. So why do you call it disgusting? The political message. Did you get the message in the movie? Killmonger was the metaphorical representation of the woke black American. The message to Africa was, if you let these woke black Americans come to Africa, they will disrespect your culture and destroy your civilization because all they know is hate. And on the flip side, rest in peace Chadwick Boseman, the Black Panther wanted nothing to do with Africans outside of Wakanda. Did y'all see that? He said, I'm only concerned about Wakandans. The message to black children in America is Africa wants nothing to do with you. And do you think it was a coincidence that in a movie about Africa, in Africa, the damn hero was a white CIA agent who saves the Black Panther system? Do y'all know what the CIA have done in Africa? The CIA overthrew Nkrumah. The CIA assassinated Lumumba. The CIA helped arrest Mandela. The CIA undermined Sobukwe. The CIA had a hand in the Amilcar Cabral, Guinea-Bissau, Thomas Sankara. The CIA is responsible for the assassination of every major black leader in Africa and America since 1940, and yet they're the hero in the movie. And can I ask you one more question? How can a movie about African people filmed in Africa don't show any black families with children in the whole movie? You saw no romance between husband and wife. You saw no African woman suckling a baby or carrying a baby. How can a movie about Africa not have the black family in it? Because they preparing our kids for the LGBTQ takeover in Black Panther 2. You heard it from Dr. Umar first. Black Panther 2 will be an LGBT takeover. The gay groups already protested Disney because they said the Dora Milaje, the female security in Black Panther, the sister who played Tupac's mother, they were homosexual in the original Black Panther comic book. And the lesbian organizations said they should have been shown as lesbian in the movie. And because they didn't do it, they agreed that in Black Panther 2, they will show the Dora Milaje in all of their lesbian traits. So they use Black Panther 1 to hook your kids, and they're going to use Black Panther 2 to brainwash your kids. Make no mistake, the reason they teach gay studies in kindergarten, and gay studies in preschool, and gay studies, and by the way, I love all black folks. So if there's anybody here gay and straight, you're still family. I disagree with your lifestyle, but I still love you as family. My issue ain't you. My issue is how you let the U.S. government finance a gendercide war against black public school kids. That's what's going on now. You are witnessing gendercide, the deliberate confusing of black girls towards getting into same-sex relationships, not because they care about gay pride, but they want to reduce the black American birth rate. And every black boy who decides to be gay, there's one less black family. And every black girl who decides to be gay, there's one less black family. So for all of you pro-LGBTQers, I got one question for you. How the hell you want to serve two masters? Because you cannot be loyal to the black family and be loyal to the rainbow gang. Next question. Queen. Peace and love. The assassination of the president of Haiti. I'm still formulating my position on that because he was working with the U.S. government. Had he not been working with the U.S. government, I would say the government got him. That don't mean they didn't, because he could have decided to stop cooperating. But the people on the ground felt that he was in bed with the Bidens and the Trumps. So some people thought that it was the Haitian people who took him out until we found out that the members of the assassination army were mostly foreigners and included white folks. So now I'm thinking this was a planned assassination from another country. So now we got to find out, who did he piss off? What countries did he piss off? Or what gangs from other countries did he have a relationship with who decided to come and collect? I'm still studying it. I hope to be going to Haiti soon. I just spoke at the Haitian Flag Day in Brooklyn. So we're going to be going to Haiti soon. I want to go. I've never been. I'm a big Haitian Revolution fan. I'm born on the day the war started. I got to get to Haiti. In our gymnasium, our small gym, because we have two gyms, our small gym is the Jean-Jacques Dessalines, and that term is gymnasium. But I'm still studying that. But see, America will never let Haiti grow and develop, because America, France, Spain, Britain, they still mad at the fact that Haiti is the only revolution in world history by an enslaved army that overthrew a military power. Napoleon is considered the greatest white military genius of all time, and he lost to an army of African slaves. The white man has never forgiven us. And what did Haiti tell his general, what did Napoleon tell his general when he sent him back to Haiti to try to overtake the revolution? He said, "Sir, are you that concerned about these Haitians?" Napoleon said, "No. We must crush the rebellion in Saint-Domingue. Not so much because we must kill this rebellion, but to forever crush the march of black progress in the world." They hate the Haitian Revolution for what it represents. Because if we can do that, if you can overthrow Napoleon, you can do anything. An untrained army. The French came, we beat them. The Spanish came, we beat them. The British came, we beat them. Every white army that came to Haiti to stop the rebellion lost. And America got some nerve. Why do I say that? Because America owes Haiti a thank you, because the Haitian Revolution bankrupt France so much that they had to sell its U.S. territories to America in the Louisiana Purchase, which quadrupled the size of this country. So had it not been for the Haitian Revolution, America wouldn't be as large as she is. And if it wasn't for the black man in the Civil War, America would be two countries. We owe America nothing but a kick in the ass. Brother.
Hey, Dr. Umar, pleasure to meet
Peace
you.
and love.
I'm a huge follower of you.
Support, appreciate it.
And I've always enjoyed your body of work. I guess I'm listening to what you're saying, and I think we as black people, we owe each other 100% without asking whites. And one thing that I think we should do, that I've done and practiced at a previous job where I've worked, is that we have paid each other. And in that sense, there was like 42 of us as drivers. And what we did, we donated each $20 to this one driver. It was more of a pool, which was a guarantee. And the thing about it, I think if we were to do that today to each other, either up our zip codes or whatever, there's nothing that we can succeed. We will have our own money. It won't have to be taxed because it will be reared as a donation. And you don't tax donations. And I just think that we probably need to get back on that. Now I'd like to, send an email to you so we can talk more on it, because I really want to.
Let's do it, Baba. Yes, sir. And to your point, when we do open up the school, I want all y'all to know this. The Frederick Douglass Marcus Garvey Academy is 4 buildings. And although it will be a school by day, it will be the Central Black Community Organizing Headquarters by night. We will be having the International Black Women's Conference, the International Black Men's Conference, International Black Communications Conference, because one of our problems as a race of people, we do not have an independent communications network. How did you find out about Trayvon Martin? The white man news told you.
Yeah, right.
How did you find out about Sandra Bland? The white man news told you. If something is happening to black people in Houston right now, you have no way of knowing
unless CNN or whatever news you watch. That's bad. Because black people globally are still dependent on white folks for critical news. So I want to have a conference where we come and we build our own underground network where we can communicate with each other beyond the supervision of white folks when critical information needs to be disseminated. There's something going on in LA and we need to know right now, we got to have a way to get that. So we got to have a communications conference. I want to do an ex-offender conference. I want to do black business conference. I want to do some African fashion shows and some plays because we have to revive the African culture and stop letting people steal our culture so much. Okay, but any idea you have for what our people need, we want to do it at the school. Okay, our most expensive bill will be the light bill because we ain't never turning them lights on. 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 4 different buildings will be nothing but programs for our people. So all y'all need to find a way on how you're going to get back and forth to the Philadelphia International Airport. Philadelphia International Airport is 22 minutes from the front door of our school. Wilmington, Delaware is Philly's backyard. Okay, so that's where we want to fly to. You can also fly into Baltimore. Okay, Baltimore is 90 minutes from the school. Philly is 22 minutes from the school. You got a couple other airports in the area, but y'all gonna be spending a lot of time in Wilmington, Delaware. So you might even want to buy your little house up there. And just to let you know, the real estate is very, very reasonable up there right now. But the white man's starting to buy it up. And guess why he's buying it up? Because he's anticipating my school is going to be such an impact on that neighborhood that he's going to make a lot of money selling homes. So if you think about getting you a home in Delaware, go online. You see how cheap they sell the homes for 20 grand, 30 grand, but they're starting to go up right now. The white man is buying all the property around my school because he knows what's about to happen. The next Black Wall Street. Brother.
Okay, you was talking earlier about blacks being comfortable.
Yes.
What are the things that we need to stop doing in order to not be comfortable with this colonial mind state of, oh, I got to live in America and I got to retire and I'm banking on everything that this country is promising me. Because back in the day, they would promise freedom. All right, when you get enough money to buy your freedom, now I'm gonna change the bill because you work too good, so I'm gonna keep you longer.
Okay.
For certain reasons. So what things that we need to stop doing to break this colonial mind state of being comfortable?
Okay. You got your stops, but you also got your starts. I'm gonna focus on the starts, but I'm gonna hit you with some stops too. On the starts, we have to start educating our own kids, and we have to start creating economic opportunities for our own community. Until the black community starts giving opportunities to black people, we'll never be able to build. The reason why we have so much crime is our people are desperate for opportunities and we're not generating any of them. And we also need to start holding our celebrity class responsible. Because these people are walking into nightclubs spending $500,000 in one night on liquor. And we don't hold them accountable for that type of behavior. Okay, if you want to drive 50 different cars, so be it. Collect cars, brother. But at the same time, the neighborhood you come from ain't got a single independent black institution in it. And you need to build one or we're going to boycott you. We have allowed black celebrities to evade accountability to the black community. And not just the celebrities, black professionals too. And I know a lot of you in here are black professionals and you have sold off the black community too. Because you don't do nothing for it, you don't live in it, you ran to a white suburb and you don't come back to it. Let me be very clear. The rappers are not the reason black men look up to rappers, black boys look up to rappers and athletes. The reason black boys look up to rappers and athletes because black men doctors and black men engineers and black men teachers and black men psychologists all abandoned the black community for a life in the suburb and often with a white woman. We are the reasons black boys don't have no role models. 100 years ago, the black professional lived right next door to the black family on welfare. But the white man has given us a chance to live out there with him now. And so we turned our backs on our community. The black middle class has not been a blessing to the black community. Other things we need to do, like he just said, we got to start pooling our money together. We have enough money collectively to do whatever we want. Problem is we're so individualistic due to our self-hate that it's hard to get anything done because black people love to major in the minors. Okay, and petty differences, as the Honorable Marcus Garvey said, is a curse amongst black people. Until we hate racism more than each other, nothing changes. Until you hate racism more than each other, nothing changes. We also need to understand that everybody's not going along. Pick and choose who you're going to struggle with. When I travel around, as I meet you guys,
I'm always trying to feel your energy. Can I work with this brother? Can I work with this sister? Do he just want to be famous? Do she just want to be my wife? Real questions. Because you need workers to get the work done. You can't have women just worried about romance all damn day. And you can't have brothers worried about ego all damn day. You need people who want to do the work. And the problem with black people is all we want to do is watch YouTube videos and sit around intellectually masturbate about topics that don't make a damn difference right now where we live. Most of our conferences are about the past. When the last time you've been to a conference about the African American future? I don't want to talk about the African American past. Talk to me about the African American future. What are we going to be doing in 2050? What are we going to be doing in 2070? The problem is we're not even thinking about where we're going to be in 2050 or 2070. But the white man got a plan of his own. Bottom line, we got to get like minds together. That's another reason why I'm hoping some of y'all come to the block party September 11th. Because I'm going to be having some focus sessions there for people who want to do different things on that day. If you can make it up there. But if you can't, just stay linked with me. Because once the school opens up, we're going to have a whole itinerary of conferences, think tanks, seminars, and retreats that you'll be able to participate in if you really want to be a part of something that's going to change something. The school is just the beginning. The school is just the beginning. I want to do the bank. I want to do the hospital. I want to do the supermarket. I want to do a shipping line. I want to do a distribution network. People laughed at the Honorable Marcus Garvey when he incorporated the Black Star Line Steamship Company in Delaware in 1919. Why did Garvey put ships on the water? The reason Garvey put ships on the water and no other black leader since has put ships on the water is because Garvey knew that 90% of everything you drive, wear, or eat comes on a what? Ship. So how black people are going to talk about becoming an economic power where you can't distribute nothing to other black people? If a sister's selling shea butter and you want to sell your shea butter all across the world, you got to go to FedEx, Post Office, DHL, Chinese shipping company. There's no black company you can go to that can ship your stuff all over the planet. So if we really want to get serious about black power, we need to understand something. There can be no black power until you control the black power. Black man.
Do you have a 501c4?
501c4, I do not.
What is your opinion on, you mentioned something about we vote
Oh Lord, the voting, Jesus.
We vote robotically for the Democrats.
For the Democrats. Black people are the loyal house slaves of the Democratic Party. We've been voting Democrats since the 1930s with FDR, and we have been leaving the Republican Party for the Democrats ever since then. And it intensified when LBJ gave us the Civil Rights Bill and the Voting Rights Act in 64 and 65. But what have the Democrats done for you in the past 56 years? Not a damn thing. What has Joe Biden given black people that Donald Trump didn't give black people? Not a damn thing. What did Barack Obama give black people that George Bush didn't give black people? Not a damn thing. It is my opinion that all black people should register as independents and stop pledging your loyalty to one party or another. If you want to stay a registered Democrat, no problem. But I'm telling you right now, I don't vote for black politicians if they're not independent candidates. Because if you are a Democrat, you belong to a white racist political party that does not have black people as a priority. And you're going to have to do whatever they tell you to do in order to get the campaign of finance contributions in order to be a part of the club. Every black politician in Texas is a Democrat. Philly, Democrat. New York, Democrat. So I will vote for none of them. You know why? Because if you're not an independent candidate, you don't have the independent platform. You don't have the independent agenda. You don't have the independent mind, and you will bring about no independent liberation. Which is why, as far as I'm concerned, the Congressional Black Caucus in Washington, D.C. can go to hell. Can somebody name one thing the Congressional Black Caucus has done for black folks since they was founded 50 years ago? I love Maxine Waters to death, but all due respect, what have y'all done? Every 4 years, y'all come out to the black community and make us vote for white people, every 4 years, and then when the white people don't do a damn thing for us, we can't find you. You know where to be seen. The Congressional Black Caucus should have marched on the White House, they should have marched on the Supreme Court, they should have marched on the U.S. Congress, and they don't do nothing. Kamala Harris talking about America ain't racist. If America ain't racist, why the hell did Joe Biden send an anti-Asian hate bill? And why did the Asians get their own hate bill, but yet black people still don't have an anti-lynching law after 400 years and 200 bills? 200 different attempts have been made to make lynching of black people a federal crime. Not one bill has passed in 400 years. But the Asians get an anti-hate bill on the first try. And the LGBTQ get an anti-hate bill on the first day of office for President Biden. So let me get this right. Black people are the reason you got in. But you don't take care of them. On the first day of office, Crazy Joe, right after he gets sworn in, runs to the Oval Office and signs the law for the gays. Something's wrong with that. But part of it is your fault. Because you are the only people in America who vote not to get anything, but to keep bad people out.
That's right.
Chinese vote to get concessions. Mexicans vote to get concessions. Latinos vote to get concessions. Jews vote to get concessions. You know why you vote? To get Trump out. That's the worst rationale ever. You don't vote to keep somebody out of office. You vote to get something from the people in office. Your politics are retarded because you keep on dealing with politics from a religious perspective. For example, black people gotta like you in order to vote for you. This is not a damn church. I don't have to like you in order to vote for you. We just have to have an understanding that for my votes, I want some concession. Y'all vote for Bill Clinton. Bill Clinton didn't do a damn thing for black people but lock you up, kick you off welfare, gave you mandatory minimum sentences for nonviolent drug offenses, and 3 strikes and you out. And y'all said he was the first black president because he smoked weed and played the saxophone. Y'all said Barack Obama was a damn saint. What did Barack Obama do? Take everything our ancestors fought for and gave it to the gays, immigrants, feminists. And Crazy Joe ain't even thinking about you. He makes Juneteenth a holiday. You get the Asians a bill, rights and resources. Gays, rights and resources. Immigrants, rights and resources. And you give me a damn holiday that I've already been celebrating for 156 years. And by the way, why did they make Juneteenth a federal holiday the other day? So they can kill Juneteenth. Just like they killed Black History Month. Where Black History Month was totally private, ran by the black community, Black History Month was taken seriously. Every day of Black History Month, you have programs on TV, you have programs in the neighborhood. But the minute the White House started having a Black History Month program, the minute they gave us a Black History Month postage stamp, once they mainstreamed Black History Month, it was no longer sacred or respected. They did the same thing to Kwanzaa. When Kwanzaa was private, Kwanzaa was serious, Kwanzaa was good, Kwanzaa was powerful. But soon when they had that Kwanzaa in the White House, soon when they gave us a postage stamp, McDonald's started celebrating Kwanzaa. Burger King started celebrating Kwanzaa. Walmart started celebrating Kwanzaa. Everybody got a damn Kwanzaa hat on and a Kanara on their shirt selling you dirty wings and burgers. And now Juneteenth is federal? Mark my words. Maybe not next year, it might be the year after next. White people gonna be selling Juneteenth shirts, Juneteenth hats. You will go into Walmart, they will have Juneteenth posters. They're gonna commercialize it, make money off of it, and kill it. Never let your enemy validate your heroes or your holidays. And you know what else they're gonna do? They're gonna start giving you money for Juneteenth celebration. But then they're gonna say if you want this Juneteenth money, you gotta let the LGBTQs in, you gotta let the Mexicans in, you gotta let the immigrants in. And after 10 years, what you thought was Juneteenth is a totally dead holiday. Black people fail to realize only what you own and control, only what you own and control can benefit you. You have still failed to realize that the white man will never do anything to you to help you get free. Freedom is the highest commodity of them all because you might have to give your life in order to get it. And the reason I'm so upset with African people globally, here, there, and everywhere, is I think we have gotten to a point where we are psychologically defeated. And we have conceded global leadership to the white man as long as I can drive a Benz, date a white girl, and play on my video game system. The white man has reduced you to a useless eater and a useless Bible while he runs around controlling everything on the planet. How in the hell can less than 10% of the entire human family run the other 90? Because the other 90 have allowed him to. That's why. And I hate to say it, brothers and sisters, but this black-white issue is not going to work itself out through prayer or protest. One day you're going to have to fight. It's not soon, but one day you're going to have to fight. If you think this white man did kill, rob, colonize, and enslave for the past 500 years just to give it all back to you, you are out of your mind. White power only respects 3 things: blood, money, and numbers. You don't respect praying and voting. If voting could change anything for black people, it would be illegal. Until I can vote away racism, until I can vote away police genocide, until I can vote away gentrification, until I can vote away mass incarceration, until I can vote away miseducation, look, I'm talking to me about no damn vote. Voting is what they use to convince people that they don't need revolution. 2 more questions and we're going to start the book signing. Let me take this queen right here and the brother right here. Thank you, sister.
I found you several years ago. I have a 14-year-old son who has every year since kindergarten, they have tried to put him in special ed. Every year since kindergarten. He wasn't able to go to preschool. When I took him to kindergarten, the first semester, they told me that they wanted to test him for special ed. His report card showed that out of 32 subjects, he mastered 28. When I asked him, what are you testing my son for? They said he has a communication issue. I said, I understand what he's saying. I understand what he's doing, and he understands me. So why does my son need to be tested? So they threw that out, and every single year after that, they did the same thing. I declined it because I found you, and you told me that I am my child's best advocate. That's right. So we wind up sending him to charter school. The first year he was there, they worked with my son. They brought his grades up. We were happy about it, but we found out it was a political thing because the school was trying to get funding, so they worked hard to work with the black kids to get their grades up. Every year since then, they have tried to put my son in special ed. They wore me and my husband down. One day, I said, forget it, just let them test him. But before I did, I logged on to Facebook and I saw your face. And you said, do not let them test your children. So I called the school and I said, no, you will not test my son. And so till this day, my son will be in 9th grade. He has passed every year. And I just want to say, on behalf of my family, I thank you.
Thank you very much. Appreciate it. Appreciate it. Let me say this before we take the last question. Never allow an 8-year-old or younger to be tested for any of the 13 special ed disabilities unless it's speech and language, deafness, blindness, brain injury, orthopedic impairment, multiple disabilities, other health impairment. Do not let them test for learning disabilities, emotional disturbance, intellectual disability, or autism. Why? Because the learning disability is a joke, ADHD is a joke, emotional disturbance is a joke, mild intellectual disability is a joke. Autism is real, but I need y'all to understand something. You cannot confirm autism in a 2-year-old. You cannot confirm autism in a 3-year-old. You cannot confirm autism in a 4, 5, 6, 7, and even 8. It's still a little touchy. Y'all have to stop thinking the earlier you diagnose the child, the better. You are wrong. If you put a 4-year-old kid in an autistic class who's not autistic, after 1 year, they're going to look autistic. They're going to take on the behaviors of the children that they are around. Autism is not the common cold. Autism isn't the flu. There's no vaccination for autism. You can't cure it, not yet. Stop giving them the vaccinations. But my thing is err on the side of caution. He's going to be autistic at 2. He's going to be autistic at 5. He's going to be autistic at 7. Take your time and make sure you get the diagnosis right. Remember, no school can make you put your child in special ed, but they can make you keep them in. No school can make you put your child on medication, but they can make you keep them on it. You have to sign your name 3 times before your child goes to special ed. You have to sign permission for the school psychologist to test. You got to sign that you agree with the psych eval. You got to sign that you agree with the IEP. And you got to sign the special ed service agreement before we can take your child out the regular class and put them in a special class. That means you had to sign 4 pieces of paper before your child got special educated. So stop telling me they put my child in special ed and start saying we put my child in special ed. Disabilities are not solutions. Go to any prison and you'll see why. King.
I came here from Chicago, so I went to
Chi-town.
Yeah. So I went to high school there and here. I didn't really learn anything about me until I went back home for undergrad. And I started learning about my history there, but I'm convinced that only because my professor was a black people.
Oh, for sure.
So I say that to say your school in your history curriculum, how far does it go back? What does it offer? Like, what do you go through in that?
We go back to the beginning of time. But not only will we teach history, we're going to teach political science. Because the issue I have with history as currently taught in the conscious community, it stops prior to the last 50 years. What good is it if you know everything about ancient Egypt, but you don't know a damn thing about what racism been doing since Dr. King's murder? See, what white America has done since Dr. King's murder to keep us where we are, they killed King in 68. 1970, they dropped off a weapon of mass destruction. What was it? The deindustrialization of the black community. They took out all the factory jobs, and they went into the high schools and took out all the industrial building trades. Don't you find it rather odd that up until 1970, nobody told you you had to go to college, but after 1970, everybody got to go to college? And if you go across Dallas right now, you're going to find hundreds of thousands of black folks with college degrees and student loan debt. The white man is putting us into permanent intergenerational student loan debt in our quest for education. Why do we have to go to college? Granddaddy didn't have to go to college. Great-granddaddy worked at the factory. Good job, good retirement, good medical, good benefits. But in 1970, they took all that out the hood. 1980, they dropped off another weapon of mass destruction, crack cocaine. And they dropped off the crack for black men to either use it because they couldn't find a job or sell it in place of a job. That led to the third weapon of mass destruction, 1994, Bill Clinton's crime bill. And then that led to the next weapon of mass destruction, the year 2000, George W. Bush, faith-based initiative, the new FBI. They found a way to give black churches federal funds. And ever since George Bush started giving black churches federal money, you ain't seen the black church do a damn thing for black people since. Where has the black church been in the past 21 years? And then in 2010, Barack Obama, last weapon of mass destruction, boom, we are going to take back all the civil rights that black people fought for and give it to everybody except black people. And now Joe Biden, new weapon of mass destruction, boom, gender side. We want to homosexualize and lesbianize every black boy and girl before they leave elementary school. Chicago just passed a new policy. All the kids get condoms in 5th grade or higher. Yeah, I was on the radio the other day. In Chicago, yeah, that's nothing. 2 years ago, one of the schools in Chicago was teaching the kids how to use anal condoms. Y'all better look inside y'all children's books. They already got husband couples, wife couples in there. Why are you indoctrinating kids who are not yet at the age of puberty? See, the urge to have sex is not lust, it is biology. It is nature's way of forcing reproduction to guarantee the survival of a species. You do not get the urge to reproduce until you are an adolescent, meaning you go through puberty, meaning you are able to get pregnant or impregnate. 3-year-olds don't have a menstrual cycle. 4-year-olds are not developing testicles that can reproduce. So why are you indoctrinating first graders and second graders and third graders with same-sex relationships? Because you want to make sure before they get old enough to reproduce, their minds have already been suckered by the LGBTQ agenda. I remember 20 years ago at the African-Ism in Philadelphia, I told people that one day they will teach gay studies in the school. People told me I was an alarmist. He's exaggerating. Look at it now. They're teaching gay studies in the school. And if you say something about it, you'll lose your job. If a black kid make a joke about a gay kid, not that they should, because I don't believe in that, he will get expelled. But if the white kid called a black kid a nigga, he can go back to class. And guess what? This is all our fault because we have allowed them to put everybody in front of us because you're the only people in America who are too ashamed to fight for yourself. Every time black people fight, we want the Mexicans with us. We want the Latinos with us. Every time we fight, we want the Native Americans with us. We want the Jews with us. Can I ask you a question? When the Latinos go and fight for Latino rights, do they ever mention you? No. When the homosexuals go and fight for homosexual rights, do they ever mention you? No. So why the hell every time we fight, we mention everybody else? Even during the George Floyd protest. Oh, this is not just about black people. We're fighting for everybody. Stop that. Because when you keep fighting for everybody, you know what they start calling you? They don't call you black, they call you people of color, minorities, non-whites. And you know they like to use the word people of color, minority, non-white, is because they can give resources to the gays, to the women, to the Chinese, to the Arabs, to the immigrants, to the Latinos. You don't get nothing, and the government can still say, we took care of the people of color. Until we start fighting for black rights only. When I speak, I only speak for black people.
I wish the whites well. I wish the Arabs well. I wish the Chinese well. But when I show up, I only want to hear about my people. And the reason I only want to hear about my people is because all these other people have turned their backs on my people. And none of them will be where they are if it was not for my people. The enslavement of African people is the only enslavement in the world where it stripped the victim of their humanity. The enslavement of African people is the only enslavement in human history where you own an entire family perpetually for eternity. The slave master didn't just own you and your wife, they owned the baby in your wife's stomach, and when that baby had a baby, they owned that. And when the slave master got too old to own anything, he died, but he left the inheritance to his son, and that a grandson owned your grandson, and a great-grandson owned your grandson. Somebody tell me how in the hell they got anything to do with gay rights and immigrant struggle. Nobody has nothing in common with me. My struggle is unique. If you want to address me, you will address me in isolation. You will not blend me in with other groups who can't stand me any more than a white man. It was never illegal for homosexuals to get an education. It was never illegal for white women to get an education. It was never illegal for immigrants to get an education. But if you got caught trying to learn, they'd take a finger off every time you got caught reading a book. That's why when y'all see pictures of enslaved Africans, you see fingers missing. Y'all think they lost their fingers working on a plantation. No! If they caught you with a book, they took a digit off every time. Illegal to learn how to read. And why was it illegal for you to learn how to read? Because the white man said you were a thing, not a person. And in order to reinforce that idea, he could not let you show the world that you could think better than he could. And the greatest trick that white devil ever pulled was make you think he's no longer what he has always been. I'm going to end on that note. Family, if you got a book you want signed, thank you, Black family. Make sure y'all order something for Brother Emo. Get some of them oxtails, that coconut shrimp, that curry chicken. Make sure you come up here and get a copy of my book. Don't forget the Juneteenth t-shirts, only $10. Black, white, lady cut, man cut. Come on up the steps, open your book, have your phone ready. I need an ink pen. Who got an ink pen for me? Thank you, King.
All right, Dr. Umar, my Philadelphia brother, just wrapped up here in Dallas. We were glad to have you out. You know, this the last time we got you was what, 2018, right?
Yes, sir.
That was the last time. So, yeah, real quick, anything you wanted to say before we wrap up and get up out of here?
Yes, sir. First of all, I want to say thank you to Dallas, Texas, Fort Worth, for coming out and supporting me today here at the Aldi's Afribian restaurant. I want to say thank you to our brother Ebo, who owns this restaurant, him and his family, for accepting us here, open arms. I want to thank Baba Clinton and his family for providing the security. Extra special thanks to Sister Sabrina Frenchie, who helped me find the venue. Sister held me down today with the book sales and made all this work, so thank you, Sister Frenchie. I just want to say, Texas, I love you. Thank you for standing by me. Thank you for donating to the Frederick Douglass Marcus Garvey Academy. Houston was beautiful last night. Dallas was beautiful today. I will be in Austin, Texas on the 25th. Please continue to donate to the Frederick Douglass and Marcus Garvey Academy. Get on your Cash App, $FDMG School. Get on your Cash App, $FDMG School. Get on your PayPal, paypal.me/FDMG Academy. Go to dr.umarjohnson.com and join the Loyal Donors Club. $50 a month, bronze, $100 a month. Silver, $250 is gold, $500 is platinum, and $1,000 donation a month is diamond. Please join us at the school Saturday, September the 11th for the Unapologetically African Family Festival, aka the Black Power Block Party, from 11 to 8. Food, games, vendors, music, performers, giveaway, rides, face painting for the children. Bring everybody out. But Dallas, thank you. Houston, thank you. Texas, this is one of my many second homes. I love Texas, always love when I come through. Can't wait to get back again. If y'all need to reach me, 215-989-9858, 215-989-9858. Don't call me, just shoot me a text. You can email me, dr.umarjohnson@yahoo.com. Don't pay attention to the negativity. Don't pay attention to the slander. We're on a mission, and that mission is the liberation of African people and the independence of our ancestral homeland. Black Power.
All right, appreciate it, Dr. Umar. You have a great weekend. We're going to holler at you next time.